Howdy, folks. Welcome to Courts of Everest, our original D&D campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most, and joining me are my friends, Matt, all of Matt's Forks, Tina, Cara, Hannah, and Alana. We are going to play D&D tonight.
Generous, extending that to the Forks.
Yes. But before we do a couple of quick announcements, Hannah, could you possibly tilt that camera down just a little bit to capture more of this side of the table?
Capture these.
We're going to play D&D. A couple quick announcements. First, we have a YouTube, an Instagram, a Threads, a Blue Sky. We have a Patreon at AlberonRPG on all of those different platforms. You can see different things like what is on our table. You can see that a little bit here, but you can see it in much greater detail at AlberonRPG if people take pictures. There is a Starfinder game that we play every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can... What?
I'm sorry.
You can join us when we play that right here at 6:30 p.m. We have a lot of one-shots, anthologies, different things that occur over on the weekends. For instance, this Saturday, we're going to be playing Humblewood, an original game that Hannah is going to be running for us. She ran 2 sessions of Humblewood for us. It was called Heart of
Daco.
Daco,
Yep.
thank you. I always mess it up, and I couldn't say it out
Heart
loud.
of the cow.
And
Yeah.
for this one, we're filming it over the course of the next few months, but it's going to be 4 sessions that air in October. They are going to be spooky, and I demand that you perceive them as such, even if the modules aren't really written that way.
I can't wait till you see the overlay, because I forgot about that.
Is it cute
We
and
can
happy,
switch it.
Joe?
No. The only thing is just the transition is like a bunch of like plushy animals.
Yes.
Anyways.
The only reason it's supposed to be like Humblewood Halloween because it's airing in October,
Yeah.
but
I could. Anyways.
no, you're fine. It's okay.
No,
we can
but I
mess
just
around.
realized the even cooler thing we could do. Anyways, neither here nor there. We have tons of content. You can see all of it over on YouTube, although some of it now available only on Patreon. For instance, Alberon After Dark: Deadly Sins, a drinking-related D&D adventure, where Cara served up 7 different cocktails for us as we got progressively more drunk over the course of the evening.
Because no one can tell me no.
Yeah, so that's it's a fantastic one-shot that you can see over on our Patreon. Aside from that, I believe that's all the announcements that I have for this week. Oh, it's the Alberon Wine Festival. We're drinking wine around this table. There's several different varieties that are displayed here. This is just straight bottling. But for all this wine, there are a few people wearing wine colors. There are a few people who are wine moms. But there's only one person wearing makeup in the color of wine who made a, wine cast run for us as well. So, Cara, I'm presenting you with the reroll for tonight. I didn't make a new reroll, so you're taking the Goth Knight reroll, which
That's
I forgot
fine.
to use
It's
last
better than the
time.
dumbbell.
The dumbbell is a
She's
ton.
also fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I feel like this lady drinks a lot of wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
This lady
That looks like the
definitely drinks
lady
a
on
good
the-
wine.
Looks like it could be a good
cover of the wine we just
I was
drank.
gonna say, could be a good
yeah, kind of.
wine label.
I
Yeah.
wonder if that's what I was thinking.
I'd buy that
This
wine.
is our wine label.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That is our wine label. That
Goth
stock
Knight
label
Not yours.
from
Ours.
Adobe is definitely
It's
our wine label.
Maybe
red blend.
So, we are drinking wine
20
tonight.
different blends.
That is all the announcements that I have for this week. That brings us to this week's session of Courts of Everest. And to you, Cara, with the recap.
Thanks.
Got him.
Wandering Hearts. The last we played. We stepped from Hearsom's woodland portal into the Aussenloch. While initially testy, the staff warmed up to us thanks to Hearsom's charm. The wise part of our group desperately wanted to sleep, and despite the urgency some of us feel, here's some waits outside. Ori is completely focused and demands full access to the entire library and claimed to have an appointment while Valis racked his brain for any possible acquaintances that he could visit. Eventually, they requested a meeting with Vorn and got a study room in which to rest. Eventually also convincing Ori to slow down to allow the group to recover and gain some knowledge. Billy, instead, rushed out to catch Hearsome. He told her to go to the living map and uncork a bottle which he gave to her, directly next to it. She went off to do so. Ori is suspicious of every Aussenloch scholar, as he normally is, but tried to get some information out of them, while also being suspicious of whether or not the information was reliable because they might all have their memories wiped. Eventually, they realized that the staff member had indeed gone to get them an appointment with Vorn on the 9th floor. And on the 10th floor, Billy discovered that language learning does take time. A long time. Not 30 minutes. Minka, Alina, and Cheshire rested. Because again, the wise part of the party rested. And the less wise and the elves did some research instead of resting.
Damn, I'm wiser than you.
Anyway,
Shit.
Ori dragged Valis up and downstairs to find any information whatsoever on the wake Peter flew. Eventually, the two of them split off, with Valis taking some books and going to rest, and Ori searching ever progressively higher into the library levels. Eventually, he is accosted by a scholar
Fucking book nerd.
who recognizes him as a fellow scholar. And Ori, through luck and vigorous training as a child, was able to overcome the mental challenges put forward to him and received a minor reward.
Oh yeah, I didn't get the stats for that again.
Hold, please. Billy continued on her quest, which was to get to the map and meet everyone else there. No one else was on that quest because, again, the wise people were sleeping. Billy instead reached the living map and, finding no one there, sat down to wait. Ori found Billy and proceeded to watch Billy. Because, again, Ori is suspicious of everyone in the Aussenloch.
Well, mostly Billy.
And they accidentally fell asleep and had their long rest. And yes, I was corrected. Ori fell into a trance. Because apparently you can accidentally do that.
I mean, if you're sitting there staring at someone for so long, eventually you're just gonna kind of...
That's in and of itself a
Eventually, we all
trance.
woke up from our long rest. The wise ones decided it is time to explore the library, and eventually realizing that they needed to meet up with Billy, who had gotten sidetracked. Finding Billy after talking to Hearsome, who is outside, again, still. It's been 10 hours, he's still there. They discovered that Billy was indeed on the map level and slowly made their way upstairs, with Minka stopping off at the level with books about stars. And finally getting her fondest wish to enter the Aussenloch and learn more about the stars, and met a fellow enthusiast for the stars who had them tattooed on her body and didn't at all treat Minka like a curiosity. We all learned something about ourselves that day, as we continued up into the library and onto the 17th floor with the living map. While debating on how to read said map, a wondrous ball that floated above us of many different metals representing each continent of Alberon. Billy didn't wait for anything and just uncorked a bottle, because why say words when you can just do things? And Ori decided that was sus as fuck and stabbed her, as one does. You just had a knife laying around before that
Joe
point.
dropped
No,
it.
I had it for goth night last night, and then the chain broke, and
I
then I
knew it
just
was
dropped
coming.
it right now.
I knew it was coming.
It was the
Great.
whole thing.
Wonderful. I love this. It's great. Thematic. And eventually, the bottle is uncorked, and Hearsome's voice boomed across the map level and uttered a spell? Words of arcane power? Both? That highlighted the location of the house that sleeps on legs, or the house that walks on legs, as it was indeed moving, standing amongst a warband of goblins and elementals and other nasty things between us and our goal. Cheshire also made use of the living map, copying the words heard from Pearson and twisting them to her own devices. The finding of her lost limbs. And indeed, she located her parts. And what she'll do with that is yet to be seen. We discussed various ways to get into the lower levels, because surely we can't just take our appointment like normal people. We have to get there under suspicious circumstances, like dressing up as members of the Aussenloch thanks to a spell, and then using an arclight reagent to, well, after being floated up to the ceiling on the 18th floor, where the arclight is located, then using an arclight reagent and breaking in to the lower levels. Because again, we're nothing if not straightforward. And as we look around at the tightly kept and watched books of the arcane levels, this is where we begin our session.
Well done.
Very nice.
For you, Ori, you have Lorebinder Tharm's Reluctant Reward. This is a wondrous item. It is uncommon. And once per long rest, the bearer may activate the charm as a bonus action to add their intelligence modifier, minimum +1, to any history, arcana, or investigation checks.
It's great that it went to you, because I believe you are the smartest one here.
Damn, that's
On paper.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
the entire party took
Holy
intelligence
shit.
as a dump stat.
Oh
know about
my
it.
god.
What's your...
What am I now? I bumped mine up so that it would be even, and it is now.
So in this moment, you are all within a stone chamber where there are a number of, up on these platforms of stone, cages where powerful arcane tomes exist. They don't simply sit, although many of them have a table or a pedestal on which they rest. Here and there, you can hear the sound of turning pages. You can hear whispers in the back of your ears. These are tomes of immense power. Mika?
How tempting are these books?
Only you can answer that.
Like to Alana or to
you,
Minka?
you see off and to the left, there is a small scroll that is up on a table inside this cage. It is made out of gold leaf. It is beautifully reflective, and the lettering on it is almost like liquid silver. You can see the text disappears and reappears, disappears and reappears. It's a tiny little scroll, but there is a immense power. The other one off on the right, you can see a book that is bound in a strange material. Make a perception check.
I'm actually okay at those.
Don't jinx it.
Damn.
Can I help?
Probably not.
I would like to help by saying, what does your Air Genasi eyes see?
Plus 0 conditional. With a 14, you look. It is a darkened, maybe charred and uneven cover. And this book doesn't move. It doesn't whisper. It is very still. Off in the distance with a 14, you cannot see any of the other 4 books. But they're tempting. These are immensely powerful.
Right. I think Minka's gonna subconsciously wander closer to the shiny one and be like, "What is this?"
Oh no, there are no
Reminder,
rocks here.
This is
We're not in immediate
the
danger,
first
right?
time Minka's been in a library.
Right.
In what are you using a feature?
Is anything attacking us?
Not at the moment.
I like to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. What is the range on Detect Magic?
It is 30 feet. And what I'm really trying to find out is that there are any magical, alarms.
Sure. You cast out this spell, and as the radius expands, there are little blips that come out from each of these books. The cages themselves, magically warded. And the material is unusual. It seems to be 2 metals twisted together, one the same that the staircase is made out of, and the other, one that you've seen very recently, adamantine. These are powerful cages that are themselves enchanted, but as far as you can tell with Detect Magic, there is no traps or alarms or other things of that nature.
Okay, but you said they were magically warded, so not like a alarm, but more of like a
Arcane lock.
arcane lock. Okay, I'll relay that. And we're on the 6th floor, right?
Across this room, maybe 120 feet away, you can see there is another set of stairs that leads down and drops out of sight.
Can I
This one's different.
wander over?
I just don't have the same number of minis, yeah.
I'm just gonna wander across the room toward the stairwell. I'm not gonna go down, but I'm just gonna get closer and just kind of peer down and see
Okay.
what I can see.
Be
I'm
careful
gonna
of
take
these.
this with me.
Are there any traps before, or I guess as?
You walk, and
I'd
as
walk
you do,
with you if you're gonna walk that
Okay.
far, just to make sure there's no.
I
I'm
want
like
to.
So
meandering,
even before you
know?
get there,
Yeah.
right at the very beginning of the room, Rez whispers into your mind, pointing off to the left, and says, "Alina,
Yeah.
there's something helly in that cage."
Oh, like in a cool way?
I don't know.
Ooh, let's go look at that. Okay, I abandon my walking that way,
Okay,
and instead I just walk over here to look,
Okay.
take a
Is that
closer
the
look.
chart book or the scroll?
the scroll.
Okay.
Be
So
careful.
Minka's gonna be near you on that by that staircase because she's kind of fascinated at the like liquid metal looking aspect of it.
And as Alina rolls up next to Minka, she's gonna be like, "Hey, Rez says this one is like helly,
Oh,
That's
are all
probably why
libraries
it's
like
locked up.
this?
right? Are all? I don't know. I don't think I've ever been in a library either."
Be careful. If I recall correctly, this is the 6th floor. Javaris, this is the 6th floor.
Javaris, from the prayer beads of Javaris the Wise around your neck, says, "Valis, who is a friend? This is indeed the 6th floor. Mind the tomes kept here. Many are potently magic, and some have a mind of their own, Valis, who is a friend."
Thank you, Javaris, friend of Valis, and I relay that to the group. That all
Like,
that.
there's another Javaris in one of the books, but like
maybe,
a devil
or
or
maybe they're
something?
more like they're sentient.
Can I do
Also,
like
I-
an Arcana check
Can
on
be
the helly
sentient?
one?
Yeah, make an Arcana
was that?
check.
Books can be sentient?
Apparently.
As you look at this scroll, though, it's not helly. It's beautiful. It is like gold leaf. It is like these reappearing glyphs, and it's not infernal that's written on there.
17, and I can read all writing.
I know. With a 17, you can read that this, though it's not an infernal, is the Hellish Planus Mechanicus Nether Scroll. And the language is unlike anything that you've ever seen. You can still understand that this speaks about the machinations underneath the Hellish planes, how they work. And this is part of, I would say with a 17, part of a much larger collection. With perhaps 10 more of these scrolls, you would have a volume. More importantly, if you had this, you could probably plane shift to the hells with no ill effects.
All right, Alina out loud is gonna be like, "Okay, this one is cool. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but also scary."
I think
That's
all the
probably
books here are
again
gonna
why
be.
they're all in cages.
Girl, I know. I'm just sharing.
This is the vault of dangerous arcane texts, so they're all extremely powerful, and some of them are probably gonna be scary.
So do we want to look at them?
Well,
I don't
what-
know.
We're down here
if
for
we
a
should
reason,
meddle
right?
with things that aren't directly related.
We're looking for your memories, right?
And information about the Wake Peter flu.
Do any of these have strings, Cheshire?
Cheshire is just kind of walking and looking. Is there anything that catches her attention?
Down here, make a perception check.
That's pretty good. 25?
Down here, there are too many. Especially going down and down into this staircase that leads further into the library, there are many that are twisted together and form almost a cord that seems to go further and further into this place. Some of these strings break off and connect to these books. Some of them break off and go further through the walls and into places that you can no longer see. You are in a place that is very important. but there is nothing that immediately jumps out at you here.
Or he's gonna keep moving
Okay.
Which way is keep moving? Because we can.
down.
Spinning.
Well,
We came from here.
We came from here, and
came
this.
from there,
Well,
right?
no, we came from
Yeah,
a crystal. We
ported
apparated
in,
here.
but we apparated
There's a
into
crystal
like
just a little bit off
lobby
that
there.
way, and then past that crystal there is a staircase that would go up, and you know that above you is the floor that
Non-
contains rare non-magical tomes.
Yeah, and that's
So
like
down
the
is
last
forward.
of the.
Yes, down is forward.
Well, actually, no. 9 is where the offices is, right? And
Correct.
that's-
So you guys have actually bypassed all of the
Yeah, all of
major
the
scholar
administrative
areas.
areas. Yeah.
You missed the symposium.
Yeah.
I
Um,
wanted to go to that.
Maybe next time. Yeah.
So
I think at
So-
this point,
If
we would
Ori's
wander
Ori's-
forward.
you know,
I
we'll
think-
follow him.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we need to find a way to find the information that we actually need down here.
if we were to take any of these
So-
books, it would make
Or he's just.
us not only trespassers but also thieves, and our resistance could be met with a lot.
I've been a
more.
thief for a long time. Or let's keep moving.
Or make a charisma saving throw.
Oh damn.
You said the word.
Against being called a thief.
Just
Just say.
Just saying, I'm a thief.
Is there anything that gives me?
Yeah, you get a +4 just because Valis is just nice to have around.
Oh, cool. Oh, am I being charmed?
No,
Is it being cast by a creature within 5 feet of me?
it is not.
Okay.
Is it a fear effect?
It is not.
Is
Is it a shoelaces?
Is it a tapestry?
What was it?
Is it an African European
It's
trauma?
plus 3, you said?
4.
Plus 4 now. Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
A nice shiny paladin.
For just a moment, as you walk past this area, often in your right ear, you hear a voice that whispers to you. And it's almost like just around the corner. You, boy.
Is it a book?
Make an insight check.
What do your eyes see?
Because there's no people or creatures that I've seen, presumably.
Make an insight check.
It's the guy who lives in the library.
25.
With a 25, almost certainly a book. There are only books here. Valis just said, or somebody had just said, that perhaps some of these are sentient, some like Javaris, and then you hear, you, boy. And that seems like probably one of those.
70 years old. Not a boy.
But you succeed on your save, and the words just echo off and into your memory. You're not even sure if you really heard it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck with that. That book's probably not good business.
Yeah.
Are we all in agreement that we are just to move through this room?
Or he's already over here.
Let's do it.
Wanted to.
As Billy moves through the room, Billy looks for a magical book that will help her learn giant.
Okay.
I'm looking for the way down to the area where
Make it-
the stuff's gonna be.
Make an Arcana check, Billy.
I didn't know this many books existed.
Ooh, 24.
Okay.
You didn't know what?
This many books existed.
So, Billy, you see that Alina and Rez are examining the scroll. So you go and you check the first book that's over in the corner opposite it. Minka, you see Billy go and look at this other book, this kind of burned-looking one. Billy, you walk up to a book and you see it a little more clearly than Minka does. It is a book that is bound in mummified blackened skin. And the cover, where it looked almost uneven, is actually human fingers that interlock over each other. You imagine opening up, almost like a dual-covered book. As you look at it, there is something almost immensely powerful that roams out of the pages. It is not quite a whisper. It is not quite a hum. It is almost like a promise. There is power here, but likely not giant. There's something immensely necromantically powerful about this book.
I shall try.
Billy's on a mission.
Okay, you walk past that one, and you move on to this middle row. You can see that there are two books here. One of them is a volume that is bound in this very fibrous looking cloth. It's a little bit stained, but there is dull clasps that hold it shut. you see like a little element of an old crown-shaped stamp on the cover of it. And with your Arcana check, there is something to this. Make a charisma saving throw. I'll say at advantage.
Oh, jingly dice.
Oh, those are both such good numbers. What's a 26?
Okay. With a 26, you hear in the back of your mind, just whispered out of this little cage, I could help you, you know. And it just echoes away as you resist that.
Do you teach giants?
You say that?
Yeah.
Oh my god. 11.
I teach many things.
Hey, this book says it can help me learn giants.
Shh! Sorry, it's a library.
Do you have to be quiet in those?
We're also not supposed to be down here.
Oh, that's fair.
What is
Also,
that?
Billy, you know spells
Book.
that can help you speak
That book?
giant.
Javaris, do you know what that book is?
You turn. How close are you bringing Javaris to this book?
No. Javaris is like, my homie.
Oh, it's Brovaris.
As a friend, I have that book in my personal collection. These are my books.
This is my cousin.
Alice, you've come to my room.
Do you want?
These were my books.
These
Do you want
are
me
all
to-
my friends.
I guess I'm not very close. I'm not like walking up the stairs. We're just kind of walking through the middle here. So unless there's any reason, I'm just kind of like looking up at it.
Okay. Javaris can't perceive too much from this distance, and so would say, Valis, who has eyes? Besides, I am unable to see, but I assure you, any books held within these cages are dangerous. I would move on.
Do you need a description, like its title and like the cover?
Javaris advises that
yes,
we
I
move
remember.
on. He said that these books are dangerous.
Well,
On my way up.
Okay.
We'll talk.
You say that, and the book says, good. I can help you achieve great works.
I just want to learn giant.
That is a great work. You continue to walk.
Billy,
Off.
are you seriously considering making a deal with a book?
No, it just said it could help.
Was it telling the truth? Could you tell?
It didn't.
If the books are dangerous, they could lie to you.
Can we put our thinking caps on here, please?
Why would books lie?
Wait.
Oh my god.
Not only can they talk, but they can lie.
Think is mine.
Billy's mind is also blown. We have not. This
You've
side of
never
the table
read
has
a
not
book
been.
that was outdated?
You grew up with hacks. Of course a book can lie.
Books. What do you mean outdated?
Books didn't lie.
Do they like disintegrate?
I
Although
explained
they were giant.
versioning to Minka.
And I imagine at this point she's now like following Valis through the center of the room, just mystified at the concept.
So there's an idea called Irata.
No.
So
These are the unearthed arcana.
No, so unbalanced.
Fireball!
You've ruined so many campaigns.
this
Old
version of
armor.
Dominion has lasers?
Alright, I'm actually curious though, why is this one in a smaller cage?
I asked that already. It's just because the minis.
Yeah, I only have 5
Move past
cages.
it.
That
Move
size.
past
okay.
it.
Alright, we
I
moved
got the
past
cages
it.
for
Figuratively and metaphorically.
yeah, specifically for Ace of Roses.
Oh.
Billy, are you looking
Yes,
at any of the other
of
books,
course.
or are you?
No,
just
being
fine?
told that they're dangerous and we shouldn't look at them, Billy's gonna go.
Alina is like dragging Billy if she's dragging her feet.
My chaperone says no.
No problem. Your chaperone says no. You're hustled out of.
Or he's massively suspicious.
Vincent
Ori
wants
is
all
like
of
on
these
the
books, Joe.
verge, making it so much easier and killing
So, or
right
you
now.
make your way
Ori
the rest
will
of the
kill
way
you, I think.
across this space, kind of seeing everybody else kind of just immediately detour into different sections of this room. You hear them all whisper across the space, don't touch that, to each other, as they all get very close to different books. But what are you doing?
11.
I'm going to see if there's like as I move past all of these caged up books at the other end, is it another area where the arc light is needed to port to another space, or is there a staircase, or like what am I looking at?
You are looking at what should be the continuation of like a spiral style staircase, but here it is straightened out. you see the iron stretches across the stonework and sinks into it, now taking the place of mortar. Where there was this kind of mix of gray stone that supported the different bricks, there is steel that runs between like veins. And it descends into a room that hums with arcane energy. You see at the very bottom there is an aperture of stone, and as you behold it, you can see this kind of glowing green crystal on the top. The crystal lights up, and the stone aperture begins to open. And the moment that it opens, you hear, "Quiet, I'm sure I heard something."
Oh, I had.
Make a stealth check.
If I see Ori hide, I'm also gonna try to like flatten myself against the wall.
See how good this check is.
Am I in dim
He
light?
just disappears. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, are we all making this check? Or
This
That
is
was
just
advantage,
Ori,
right?
because Ori,
Okay.
you guys are all like talking and looking at the
Mm.
books. Ori went
Great.
across the room and
I
is
see.
looking
This
down.
is.
Ori went ahead.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
after you,
I can't jump
23.
Okay.
That's pretty sneaky.
You did.
Okay. With a 23, you feel less hidden than you normally
Sorry,
would.
24.
24. You feel way more hidden than you did before.
It might matter.
But Ori, the hairs on the back of your neck stand up because as the aperture opens and you hear that, there is another voice that responds, saying simply, "Roshota," and the wind drops 20 degrees. You've heard a voice very similar to this in the past. Almost at once, as this individual makes their way across, taller than the two mages at their side, you see a frost devil. They hold a spear of this almost black-looking ice. They stalk on these insectoid legs, these big bulbous eyes kind of gazing out, the multifaceted elements, not reflecting you, at least as far as you can see. These two Aussenloch wizards kind of step out. You can see each one of them holding a cloudy-looking sphere in their hands. They look nervous. The green sort of crosses on their chest that go from shoulder to shoulder are unbuttoned. They look a little bit more unkempt than some of the other scholars that you've seen. They look a little sweaty. But they stop, and they all make perception checks.
Are they past me?
No. They're standing maybe like 15 feet in front of you, so you are like right at the edge of this map. They're right at the bottom of this staircase.
Did any of us hear this stone aperture opening?
Huh?
No.
Did anyone?
No. You would not have seen. So between each floor, there is this curtain of silence, so you don't get to hear things between floors, yeah. Which is beneficial in many regards, but
Also, no
not
one
the
heard
best.
Billy yell.
No, we specifically actually mentioned that. So, Ori, you see this frost devil, the compound eyes kind of gaze across. For just a moment, it's like they hesitate on you, but then they hold up one hand and they step right past you. And all of you now see suddenly the top part of this frost devil rise up into the space. Let me go grab some miniatures.
I'm sorry, what?
Once it passes me,
It like
goes
walks
into
up
the
here and we see
space.
it.
What is this? Like I hear
Cleaning.
I'm the
Should we
book
make sure
restoration
we are
specialist.
like where we are? You know.
Billy would have no idea that was
I was
us.
following
look
Valis,
like
so
Aussenloch
you're probably.
people. We don't look like ourselves.
That's true.
You are all currently in
Where are
disguise.
you? We are.
Yes.
Or not.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, we are.
seeming.
Yes, you are.
I forgot about that.
I mentioned it in my recap. That means you tweeted it out.
Oh,
No,
so
that
rude.
means
How are you not
I
paying
was
attention?
distracted.
Oh no.
Destruction.
Oh, did you steal a book? Bro,
Who made that book?
the librarian
Thank
is
you to my
coming
partner
right
Emily
now.
for making these books.
Emily.
Wow, these books are amazing.
One of the best people in the entire
They're
wide
like
world.
actual
That
small version
redoing the
books
bookcase?
that are the size
Oh, I
of
didn't
books
realize.
for our
I was just gonna-
minis, and
We would have been
Fix
they're-
it.
next to each
It's all
other.
good.
So
Anyways.
bullying.
The bookcase is on the ground.
And then
In this
Valis
moment-
destroyed him because he hates books.
You see the top of this ice devil making their way up. You all look like a group of Aussenloch scholars just kind of making your way across the space. But the ice devil kind of freezes.
I'm sorry, what? The what devil what?
I didn't realize that there were more people
The
down.
mandibles pop open. And Ori, do you speak Infernal?
I think. One moment.
Rez does.
I don't think I do. I think it's
Sure.
You have the ability to read lips. You can hear really well, Ori. You make out what they say in Infernal very clearly, but to you it doesn't mean anything. They whisper something to these two mages, and you can see they hold these orbs a little tighter, but the Ice Devil turns to all of you, and for those of you who understand Infernal, they say, "Halt. This space is off limits. You should know this." And they cross the distance to whoever is first, which appears to be Valis. Valis, they tower over you by several feet. And as they approach, it gets significantly colder. But at the moment, you are not taking damage. You get the sense that that is something that they can choose to dampen down. You've fought creatures like this before. They have an immense aura of cold that radiates off them, and this one is no different. The space here has gotten steadily colder. But they tower over you, and they look down at you, and they say, "Who are you?"
I'm going to go ahead and cast Tongues real quick on myself.
Does it have a somatic component?
You
No.
have to go.
It does not. So you cast Tongues.
Mm-hmm. And then once it's cast, I go, I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that?
They stop. They look up at you, and they say, "Who are you?"
Not to worry. We were sent by Vorn, heading down to the floors below on an errand for him.
You go. The rest of you wait.
Oh, no. We are all needed.
Vorn is not welcome below.
I take a look at the two scholars,
Yeah.
and you said they looked nervous?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's back.
I would like to cast Suggestion on one of them,
Okay.
using the Prayer Beads of Javaris. And,
So
can
the
I do
scholars
that?
probably a good 50 feet away from you through this ice devil.
Closer to me.
Are you just kind of just leaning past and just shouting past him?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Seeing this
As you do that, you take these prayer beads, these magical items, and you begin to tilt and talk over them. Almost certainly, that is not a reaction that they want.
Seeing that this is going south, can
Yeah.
I shoot this ice devil in the back of the head?
So, why doesn't everybody go ahead and roll for initiative? As it seems as if
We tried.
Does my suggestion go off by any chance?
Your suggestion? Yeah, we'll start off with your suggestion.
Oh no.
Okay.
What did you roll, Minka?
19.
Damn, that sucks.
Hate that for you.
All right.
I would love
I
that
also
roll.
rolled a 19.
So,
Let's go.
okay, you guys got a little lucky.
A little.
Lucky. Let me take my
We're
stat.
gonna go
Oh wait,
with
no, I already have my
the
stat.
Billy dice that Matt gave me.
All right.
We
So,
talked about it. We're fine personally. Our characters are not in a good
yeah.
spot.
Anybody natural 20 for their initiative? Okay.
That was a very...
Anybody
Or
25 to 20?
Characters' essences
21.
are there.
23. No, 22, excuse me.
23.
Okay, so 23 for Ori, 22 for Minka, and then
Thank God.
Alina, you were...
Thank God you shot in
21.
combat because otherwise Minka would be like,
All right, 20 to 15? 15 to 10?
15.
As
Oh,
soon as
15.
Valis
What is your
starts
initiative or
shouting,
dexterity
it's like,
modifier?
oh, okay.
4.
It's
Oh yeah, I
all-
was starting combat.
no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I mean, but like,
I figured it was
Minka-
worth a shot just to butter them up a
No,
little
absolutely.
bit.
For what it's worth, they also knew that you guys were lying,
Yeah.
and so they were trying to just pull you into a trap.
Yeah.
The mages just weren't really good at doing that. So 15 to 10? 10?
Wait. 7.
What is your initiative or dex modifier?
Oh, terrible? Let's see.
It's not a modifier.
11 is my ability
There
score.
you go. That's perfect. Okay. And then, where is Rez?
He's always after
Oh,
me.
right.
We
Always
just
after
changed
you.
it. Yeah.
Am I missing anybody? No, I'm not.
Hi.
Okay. Oh, I am. Billy.
Uh-oh.
I rolled a 1,
Uh-oh.
which becomes a 5.
There you go.
So
Okay.
really feeling Ori's anger right now.
So,
That shot was for you.
You're lucky a big devil was in the way.
you're going to
Get out of the
start
way,
off
devil.
with Suggestion, then Ori, then Minka, then Cheshire. Or sorry, then Alina, then Cheshire, then this Ice Devil, then the Mages, then Valis, and then Billy at the very end. So, Suggestion. You are targeting...
I'll target this guy.
Okay.
And it will be you wait in the corner until the fight is over and answer all the questions we ask of you truthfully.
What kind of save is that?
Wisdom.
21.
Damn it. He passes.
There you go. You go ahead and cast magic, and you can see almost instantly they cross their hands in front of their head, and you see the arcane, like, elements of your spell just coalesce around their hands and just dispel backwards. These are individuals that have trained in magic. They seem resistant to these abilities. But anything, that is your suggestion spell. That brings us into initiative. Ori.
I'm already hidden, so I'm gonna shoot my shot at the back of this fucking devil's head.
There you
From
go.
like,
I hope he likes you.
I'm probably further back with where these folks are.
Yeah, you have to be behind them. So you're
Yeah.
probably like on the staircase, about 10 feet
I'm
down.
probably- yeah.
Okay, I can't decide if I want more cold. So I have
It's
to-
tough. I know. I feel
That's
like
the great thing about layers.
it's the
just-
wine.
Last time
it is
was
the
the
wine.
gun show, Alana.
Oh, could I have some more wine?
Yeah, we are all very kind of
All
like
wine.
enjoying the wine.
Yes, I will also like
It is
the splash.
wine.
A nice
I
subtle
would like a
wine
little more
flush.
as well.
Yeah.
That may or may not be artificial.
All right.
Right
I'm
now.
drunk.
Don't forget to reroll though.
They have a
I
splash.
have not.
You
All
earned
right,
that shit.
that's pretty
I also
solid.
earned that natural one, let's be
a 31.
Salad.
Not over the
31 is a hit.
minis.
Cool, and I'm gonna make
Probably
it.
good to not pour it directly over the meat.
I think I took a new one that's gonna be pretty good in this exact situation right now, so I love this. It's the one that I think they have to come after
Wi-Fi
me.
chink.
Oh no, wait! I switched it to trip attack. So I'm gonna make it a trip attack, and
Okay.
it's a sneak attack.
What is the
and,
save for that?
It's a strength saving throw,
Strength saving throw.
Thank you, Talon. Sorry I'm late on that.
and I'm gonna pump. I think Ori remembers fire damage is not very effective against them, right? I'm not gonna use fire on them.
Okay.
There's one way to find out.
I guess I will.
Pump it.
Why not? Yeah, I'll pump it.
There you go. So, how much damage is
Pokemon
that
rules.
total? They fail on their saving throw.
Oh, okay, cool. So let me see. So that's they are knocked prone,
Okay.
and they are taking a good amount of damage.
Help, I
need
fallen, I
more
can't get
dice for. Can I borrow some of your dice?
Yeah, what you need.
Valis, as you cast
kind of
Suggestion,
dice?
this creature swings the spear up at your neck, but in that moment, Ori also fires and is able to just floor this ice devil with the force of that blow.
Oh, thanks, Ori, my boy.
Alright, tap me up.
My boy.
Appreciate that.
Ooh. All right. So that's gonna be
That's a conveniently shaped hallway there.
22. Sorry, 30.
Very good.
26 magical piercing
Okay.
and 5 fire.
Fire does absolutely nothing. But the magical piercing does the full amount.
All right.
Anything else?
That is my trip attack, and then I am going to bonus action hide.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
It's a 19 on the die. That's
39.
29.
29. Very nice. Okay, so you kind of tuck right back into the little crevice within the stairs as you hear this ice devil snarl out, but that is your turn. That brings us to Minka. Alina, you are on deck.
Okay, ice devil's on the ground.
Huh? Yes, right in front of you, you see the ice devil slips and snarls as they hit the ground.
How tall is the ceiling?
The ceiling here, I believe, is 15 feet, but give me 1 second. No, it is 25 feet.
Luxurious space.
It's not. Music is not the combat.
How much do we care about
I can give you combat.
keeping the integrity of the library
It's
intact?
like, yeah, it's library
like-
combat.
Oh, probably like attacked enough so that the entire library doesn't know we're here.
We should probably burn the whole place down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's made of books.
Right.
Burning has
This is a stone
historically
room.
never
Yes.
gone wrong.
As a
Okay.
cult member, I'm in favor.
Let's
I
burn
will
books.
first channel the dragon.
Okay.
Don't burn books.
And
one
in
that was
doing
for the
so,
bit.
I become resistant to a bunch of stuff now because level 14 is dope.
Unless it's a
Hell
librarian.
yeah.
And then I am going to semi-panic cast Erupting Earth right in front of Valis so he doesn't get caught in it. So the center will be out here. So it's 20 foot by 20 foot cube. So
Absolutely.
it's kind of like this space to catch him, but not Valis.
So as you see this mage just knock
pretty sure.
Valis' suggestion out of the air,
I'm pretty sure it's
they
just
see
Jumper.
you transform into this aspect of the dragon, the elements of these stars becoming wings and a tail behind you. And as you panic cast this spell, you see they reach out and again swipe away and cast Counterspell. That is Counterspell at 3rd level.
I cast Erupting Earth at 4th level.
Okay, so
What I had it on
Second
was
here.
upcasting it by 1.
this is a Arcana check, and they need to roll above a 14, I think. Yes. That is going to be a failure. And so you still are able to cast Erupting Earth. There is a moment where your spell slows in the air and then it just surges through this mage's counterspell and hits the ground, and the ground begins to shake.
I get to roll d12 rolls. Wild. So it's gonna be 4d12. They do get a dexterity saving throw. I'm assuming that's gonna be at disadvantage because they're on the floor.
For that devil, yes, certainly.
And it's a 19 is what you're aiming for.
Real good. But still not going to succeed, I don't think. Oh no, 21.
So it does succeed. You take half damage, but that's... So that's 25 points of bludgeoning damage, halved to 12. But importantly, the ground in the area becomes difficult terrain until cleared. So that's where now is just difficult terrain.
Well, he's going to get some sprinkles or
Expedition.
something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Difficult terrain.
Ooh.
Difficult
You just
terrain.
make that all difficult.
Is
terrain
there
right
anything
there.
he can't do?
All right, so absolutely, all of a sudden, right underneath this creature, as they hit the ground, they begin to spin to get back up, using the spear to make almost serve as like a fulcrum, and then the ground begins to erupt. They slip again, they slam down, and they just dodge to the side as the earth splits and slams back shut where they just were. They were able to dodge some of the damage, but certainly that is sinking
They
through.
were prone as well.
Yes, that is why they rolled a disadvantage.
Now they're double prone.
Yeah.
Dexterity, boy. Anyway, so that is my action. And my bonus action to get into the form. So I do have some movement. And so I've experienced being really close to Nice Level before, and it wasn't great for my personal health
We're
and
going for
safety.
historical.
So I'm just going to go 5, 10, 15, 20,
People will speak of this.
30.
Remember the time
I just
that the
have a scoop over here
Aussenloch
on my
burned?
feet.
Okay.
sure
And I'm assuming
we're
that it gets an
idiots
attack of
inside.
opportunity from Sir Devil.
So if you're making your way over, it could. They're not going to provoke an attack of
There, you
opportunity
took
from
the
you.
reaction to counterspell anyway.
Yeah. No, that was
No,
not
that
the
was-
S devil. That was one of the mages.
that was
You
one of
weren't in reach unless that's 10-foot reach.
We'll do it for the bit.
Who knows?
Okay.
Anything else, Minka?
I moved, bonus action to action, that is it.
All right, that brings us to Alina, and then Cheshire's on deck.
All right. Fuck this guy. Fucking hate devils. Present company excluded. And so Alina is going to. Do the cages go all the way to the ceiling?
They don't. There's 5 feet of clearance between the cages and the ceiling.
She's not gonna bother flying because it's so cramped up there. She's gonna just kind of skirt around this way. And let's go ahead and let's do Fire did nothing to the ice boy, huh? It's upsetting.
almost like
Alina and Minka, as you draw close to the book that is within that cage, you feel anxious. Just this floating anxiety within your hearts up against a flutter. It feels like there is just a slight increase in your pulse for what it is worth.
Art imitates life for
No
sure.
change.
All right, Eldritch Blast. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, make your attack rolls. Right at the devil?
Yeah.
All right.
This is a disadvantage because he's prone.
Correct.
Unfortunately.
All right. Well, I don't have much in the way of melee, so. All right. First one, that's gonna
Maybe
be
just roll
a
easy to
25 to hit.
25 is a hit.
Yeah, just roll well.
They're fine. We got this.
It's fine. Just
Alright,
don't have
that's
crappy
gonna
dice.
be 14 points of damage.
And that's
Second-
force, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I had it done.
Second one is gonna be 18.
18 is a miss, unfortunately.
All right, and the third one, oof, I am rolling deliciously. 19, or excuse me, 29.
29 will be a hit.
Yeah, you forgot the math.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Public math is hard.
And man, damage. That's gonna be 6 points of damage, and then he also takes 4 fire. I
Zero
imagine
fire.
it does nothing.
Yeah.
Does the force do as much as
It
expected?
does. Absolutely does. Anything else, Alina?
Yeah, to Rez, she's gonna be like, go bother that ice devil. Show him who's boss.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And he's gonna go take the help action for whoever
There you
attacks
go.
him next.
He starts doing like the put your dukes up thing to him, but he's invisible. But that is you and Rez.
Yeah.
That brings us to Cheshire.
Cheshire, hearing everything that's going on, is going to creep over so she can see around. Sees the ice devil and says, "Begone, thought!" And with that, unsettling words. So subtract 8 for the next saving throw that he makes, and that's banishment. So it is a charisma saving throw.
So
minus
certainly, man, where are you?
Over yonder.
All the way
I
over
think
there.
especially hearing you yell "Be gone," that is going to provoke the counterspell from the other one. That is only at 3rd level. Banishment is 4.
Banishment is 4.
Can I counterspell the counterspell?
You certainly can.
I do that.
Doing it at 3rd level? You have to do it
it's
at your max level.
It's at 5th level.
Absolutely. You just blast this counterspell as it
Creature
sneaks.
within 60 feet of you casting, so they couldn't even reach me anyway.
Yeah, they couldn't.
They can. For what it's worth, you imagine that they can cast spells about twice as far as most of you.
Spell
Okay.
snipes.
Well,
Like,
I counterspell.
Absolutely, you
Like, no.
counterspell them. This little snake of arcane energy is just blasted out of the sides. Yours a little bit less elegant, but much more powerful. It just overwhelms that force.
Are they?
That is what kind of save?
Charisma saving throw, minus 8.
They're not within 5
Ooh.
feet of me, are they?
They are not. Hang on one sec. That was unsettling words.
It was.
Give me 1 second to look at something about unsettling words.
So my stupid idea was, if the cages can reflect magic, it's how we could do a sick trick shot.
That is a stupid idea, and I love it.
Make it! I sunbeam the cage.
Yeah,
Mirror
okay,
puzzle.
that works. Okay, no worries. So that is a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw, minus 8.
That is 28 minus 8, 20. There we go. You can see as it is struck by this banishment that has to snake its way between counterspells, between the erupting elements of rocks, it is hit and is just able to resist. You see parts of its icy membrane kind of flicker and falter. The temperature rises for just a moment, but they pop back into existence, still on the ground. Anything else?
Good try.
I'm going
That was a
to
really good try.
creep back. Yep. Over here.
You're burning a bunch of their spells, like right off the bat, which super, super helpful. Actually. Okay. Anything else?
It's almost
Nope,
like
that's it.
Tina has among the best game sense of the group.
That brings us to Hilzebron. So they are going to stand up, using half of their movement speed to do so, and as a bonus action, they activate their aura of hateful ice. Where is my big circle?
There's one here.
While they're prone still.
No, they got
No,
it.
he stood up.
Okay, that is going to be Valis and Rez.
I already have some.
And Minka as well, actually.
Okay.
Damn.
For Valis, Rez, and Minka, instantly, the temperature drops, and you take 7 points of cold damage. You imagine beginning your turn or entering here for the first time will continue to deal this damage to
Res
you.
is resistant to cold damage.
There you
or
go.
berserker.
Res too strong for this.
So
So
I can never keep it in my head. Halved would be 3 or 4.
3.
Always round
it
down.
Thank you.
Okay. So half is to get up. They're going to stand where they are. And then Valis is right there in front.
I am.
Sorry. They are going to slide between Valis and Rez. And they're going to point their spear directly at Alina. Alright. I just had my circle. Where did it go?
This guy?
Yeah, but that's the hard one to get.
The black.
Wait, the black circle. Yeah, where did it go? Oh, it's.
Where did it go?
Oh, right here.
Oh, it is
We're all
hard
like,
to pick up.
come on. Prestidigitation.
I guess he can't
As
cast
long
the
as it's not directly
spell.
flat on the table.
Actually, he's going to cast it right over here.
Damn.
So as he draws the spear out, you can see he traces a seal at the ground almost directly in front of him. And as he does, you see this Stygian infernal script just crawl from out of the walls, out of the floor, and up into this single jagged shape before it explodes up. Jagged ice spines, chains, and creeping frost surges outwards from this space. And I need everybody within that circle, which is Valis, Rez, Alina, and Minka, to all please make a strength check.
Is this against
Strength.
Magic?
Strength check.
Not a saving throw.
Check.
Oh.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's a +0 anyway. on
Res
both fronts.
gets an 11.
That is a failure.
Ditto.
11.
Yeah.
23.
Res
Too
and I
strong.
equal strength.
That's a success.
Ooh, Alina gets a 7.
That is a failure.
Okay.
3 failures.
As this Stygian seal of ice explodes open, everybody in the space that fails, who I think is everybody but Valis, is going to take 7, 12, 16, 17, 18 points of cold damage.
Okay.
And if you failed, you are restrained. As the ice continues to creep and crawl across you, it freezes around your arms, your legs, the chains are up around you as well. And you imagine you will need to make a strength check as an action to escape.
Damn.
This seal
I'm frozen for
continues
good.
to freeze and crack. The chains continue to twist around, and any creature restrained by the seal of Stygian ice at the beginning of its turn must make a charisma saving throw. And we'll see what that entails when we get there.
You said it was 14 points? Sorry.
4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I miscounted. 20 points.
Oh no. Alright, well Res is down.
Oof.
Bye, buddy.
Rez instantly disappears. But that is the action. That is all that this devil can do on their turn. That brings us to the mages. Okay. So as a bonus action, the mages each take this sphere that they're anxiously clutching. Well, first they're going to relocate themselves. They have no idea where Ori is.
Where is Ori?
He's like down in the staircase and like off in a little alcove right there. So
Taking hot shots.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Love that.
Ooh. Whoa, you guys lined up for the wizards.
That's for you.
So they, as a bonus action, throw these cloudy spheres, which smash open. This one. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Lovely. And then this one.
Windy boys.
As the orb cracks open, not wind, but pure arcane force swirls and swirls out of it. There is glass that shatters across the room, and then this force coalesces and takes shape, and you can see arms, you can see a central torso as it becomes force elementals. Those will act after the mages. Initiative order 6, so after the mages and after Valis. That is these mages' bonus actions. Whew. Okay, as an action, we are going to first, Alina, you just threw these eldritch blasts out at people. You counterspelled one of their abilities, and they do not like that. So, Alina, The mage that you can see as they throw this orb down and as the force elemental takes shape, they reach out to you and they say, "Stop!" And you can feel the stop in your heart. Can you make a wisdom saving throw?
Is it against magic?
This is against magic.
Advantage. What's that cost?
You moved it.
I did. I picked it up before I knew. Okay. Wisdom save.
Yep.
16.
As they concentrate on hold person, you feel your body lock up. And you are paralyzed within that space until they break their concentration. But that is this mage on the left. The mage on the right looking over at you, Valis. They are going to reach out with their free hand, now free of this glove. They're not going to shake your hand. You can see the ice begins to coalesce around, and then they cast Ray of Frost directly at you. They're going to make a ranged spell attack. That is a 20, or sorry, that is a 19 to hit.
Miss.
And so it just, boom, right off your shield. You deflect it up into the ceiling. That is both of the scholars. That brings us to these force elementals. Okay.
Paralyzed. Man, even if I get paralyzed.
I'm right where I wanted this to be. This force elemental swirls around, looking over at you, Minka. You can see these hollow eyes of force as they bring these elements back, and they are just going to begin to slam into you twice. Minka, the first one is going to be a 14 to hit.
Miss.
Second one will be a 24 to hit.
Hits.
All right. With a 24, Minka, you take 23 points of bludgeoning damage, or sorry, force damage as this slams into you. That is that elemental. The one that is over by you, Valis, is going to take 2 slam attacks against you. Valis, on the low end, that is a 20 to hit.
Miss.
And then a 24 to hit.
Hit.
All right. That is going to be 17 points of force damage, as this is able to hit you with just one of these, but that still just goes into the armor and then seems to almost permeate this. This is pure arcane force that seeps into the cracks and crevices, but that is both the force elementals. That brings us to Valis.
Alright, so I like to say out loud to the scholars, it seems that the Aussenloch has been infiltrated by devils. Stand aside and let us take care of this. We don't want to
Oh yeah, we're supposed to be
hurt you as well. I'll say that to the scholars, and then I will move, let's see. Actually, no, I'm not gonna move. I'm going to use my bonus action to use mental prison on the Ice Devil.
Okay.
Is he immune to being charmed?
He is not.
Alright, roll an intelligence saving throw.
That is going to be a 20.
That will be a pass, which means that he'll just take some psychic damage if he can, and the spell ends. So he will take, that's a good roll. Let's see. 10, 20, 30, 32 psychic.
Very nice, and it does the full amount that you would expect.
Alright, and then the spell ends because he passed, and then I will just attack him.
There you go, make your attack rolls. You crush the bead, the cage sinks around him, but he just breaks it off, and as he breaks it off, throwing his arms wide, you thrust your sword out into this opening.
Does a 22 hit?
A 22 does hit.
Nice. I am smiting. Is he a fiend?
He is a fiend.
Nice.
This ice devil. Slightly fiendish.
See, a little
Just
bit
want to ask,
fiendish,
just
or
to be
a little
sure.
bit more fiendish.
A little bit lot.
A little bit lot fiendish.
1, 2, 3. One more.
Just a little bit of it.
And then another one for good fun. Can I get a D8?
Yeah, D8.
Thanks, Oh, I got it.
Okay.
We share our.
Ding.
Alright, so that will be 6 plus 11 magical piercing, and then 12, 13, 15, 16, 20, 22 radiant.
22 radiant, which does the full amount that you would expect, not more than you would imagine, which
Oh, man.
almost surprises you. But they are beginning to look a little hurt.
Well, hit him again. Does a maths 20 hit?
What?
Okay, so on Dragonfest,
Yes.
call it dirty 20 and math 20 because
It
you
took
have
me
to use
math to get there,
There you
Joe.
go. Okay, yeah. Math 20 hits.
Alright, I smite again. At second level again. Ooh, so that'll be 12 magical slashing.
Okay.
And then, let's see. 11, 17, 24, 25. 25 radiant.
Very nice.
Shout out Theme Dice to
right.
that entire side of the table.
So, absolutely. Also, for what it's worth, you do take 6 points of cold damage at the start of your turn from its aura.
I don't want
But absolutely, you hit it with smite. You hit it again, and this creature's starting to look hurt. Anything else, Valis?
Yeah, I would like to say to this creature, as after I hit him, what are you doing here, fiend?
Okay.
In common.
I'm trying to read books. In common. It yells at you. You've never heard a devil speak common before. You remember in the last battle against one of these creatures, it yelled at you in Infernal the entire time. But maybe this one's different. That is your turn, Valis. That brings us to Billy.
Did he say anything? Because I can understand if he did.
Is
No,
it a
he just gets-
library?
He doesn't understand.
What do you want?
On who? On the books.
On the books for sure. Billy doesn't quite understand them. Billy's gonna Hexblade's Curse and run up.
Oh, we flanking.
We flanking.
Make your
That
attack.
reminds me, I need to get another die because I wasn't expecting advantage.
Here. Since I'm flanking, you can use the Valis die.
Oh, that's so
never mind.
nice. But thematically it's so good. I've got the Ori die and the Valis die.
Roll with every
does she
person
have
you've
an Ori
disappointed.
I disappointed them both.
Oh no!
That's a 4 and a 2 on the die, which I'm assuming with a high of a 17 doesn't hit.
That is a miss.
And second attack.
Go for it.
All right. Ori, makes sense. It makes sense that Ori rolled a 5 on the die, but Valis is here for me with a 30.
With a 30, that is a hit. Absolutely.
Yay.
They are
Thank
able
you,
to parry
babe.
the first, but not the second, as you were able to trace this. This is Sinterson,
This is Sinterson.
the sword into this fiend. Go ahead and roll your damage.
We are going to burn a Bardic to make it a defensive flourish. And debating on whether or not I want to smite. We're gonna smite!
Okay.
We're gonna smite.
Oh, we smiting up
Billy,
here.
as you do enter this devil's range to attack it, you do take 2 points of cold damage.
Makes sense.
So brace yourself for that.
Oh,
Brr, 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 brr.
so chilly. So we have 16 points plus 5. So 21 points of magical piercing, 5 of which gets added to my AC.
Very nice.
And 3 points of lightning.
Okay,
And
just the full amount that you'd expect.
22 points of force damage.
2 points with the full amount that you would expect. This
And
creature
apologies,
looking
there's
bad.
an additional 5 points of magical piercing damage.
All right. Anything
Never
else?
apologize.
No, that's all my action.
You slash into this creature and you thrust almost a fencing style like lunge, and you feel the blade puncture through the ice, through elements of muscle and fiber, and almost skewer this creature. They are badly hurt, but they are still up. That is your turn, Billy. That brings us to the top of the initiative order to Ori.
We have pumped so much damage into this thing.
All right. So from where I am,
Yeah.
can I still see the devil
No.
being the fucking devil?
I would say you need to get to the top of the staircase.
All right, I'm gonna move up to the top of the staircase.
Yeah, you can be 5 feet off the board if you want, because you can still see it.
Is he still considered hidden if he's just peeking up like this?
You are still hidden from taking the stealth action.
Right.
You
And then
have half cover
when I-
from where you are.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. How much movement did I actually take
It's 10 feet.
Okay, so I would be able to move up further.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot that motherfucker again.
Make an attack roll.
It is at advantage because I am hidden, and I am.
Just got a chance to beat those.
It's gonna be a 29 to hit.
With a 29, that will absolutely hit.
All right. So damage here, and I'm gonna make it. Making another trip attack. Fuck this guy. Fall.
What kind of save?
Strength save.
Seven.
He falls again.
Keep balls for Ori.
Notice me so much. Not very sure-footed is this demon.
No, he's not. I don't know why he just can't roll strength saves. He's not bad at them either.
But it's thematically appropriate because he's an icy boy.
0
Yeah.
fire because
Just
of
slipping.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry,
Everybody's
Joe. Is Ice Devil prone?
Now he is.
Now he is.
He only just became.
He
prone.
just
Sorry.
pruned.
Now is
He wasn't before.
Are there?
so that is 41 points of magical piercing, and he is prone.
No, he's not. With 41 points of magical piercing, you fire, and this cracks straight into the hole that Billy just pierced open, almost like bouncing off the blade of Cinderson as it's withdrawn, and plunges deep into the core of this creature. There is a howl of infernal agony as this creature collapses in on itself and dies. You can see just melting into putrid, sulfury ice. The cold instantly abates, swirling out in just little clouds of frost. But that is the Ice Devil. Anything else, Ori?
Cool. So I guess instead of what I was gonna do, which is murder these two guys, I will bonus action hide again
Okay, make a stealth
and
check.
see if they stand down.
Make a stealth check. You just heard Vala shout that you're gonna save him from his demons. You did.
We did it, and that's a 26.
26. You right back into the same alcove. That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to Minka.
Is the seal of Stygia still active?
The Steel of Stygia is no longer active.
Bye-bye.
So I'm no longer
All of those of you who were
but
restrained, no longer restrained.
but I am still paralyzed.
You are still paralyzed. Oh, no, you are... Hang on.
Because hold person.
Yes,
I think
hold
whole
person
person was
is from
from one
the
of the
mage.
guys.
Hold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the guy that cast hold person. on
Correct.
Lena. So the guy dying changes my plans a little bit.
Doesn't usually do that.
You know, it should be like that.
It do be.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go down again. Yeah, you know.
That you're having, like, death.
Yeah.
What you doing, Minka?
Okay, so what I will do is I will turn and go from dragon to archer and shoot this man
Okay.
with a radiant arrow.
I'm here to save you.
From yourself.
Okay, and as she does it, she's gonna be like, just tell them
Get some
to
pictures.
tell your creatures to stand down.
I want pictures.
Sometimes we be getting sloppy and it's fine.
For the gram.
Does a 15 hit?
15 does not hit, unfortunately.
Damn.
You
So I will
see these
pretend like I
individuals,
intentionally
as that
missed.
strikes, 15 just ricochets right off this glowing arcane armor that just coalesces as it hits. They seem to be under the influence of mage armor.
Okay. And then, so as my bonus
I'm the bard.
action, and then with my action, I'll grab the force boy
Okay.
and cast shocking grasp.
Oh, okay. You grab it, your hand passes straight through. It is just a being of elemental force,
Yeah.
but the magic still affects it.
Yeah.
That is a dexterity saving throw.
That is an attack roll for
Attack
me.
roll for you.
It's like those anime scenes where
Oh,
like,
you
a
have
ghost
advantage
person
because
and the
you're
real
flanking
person
it with
reaches out to
Alina?
touch each other, and
Is
it just
Alina still
like-
threatening if she's paralyzed?
I
I don't feel very threatened.
think yes, technically.
Technically.
Yeah.
because it's more about distraction and less about. Like, actual-
So a 26.
26 is a hit.
Okay, awesome.
You're so distracted.
There it is. Bop. 14 points of lightning damage.
And interestingly, this seems to do only about half of what you'd expect.
That's fair. But then after doing that, though, I just move.
Yeah.
I'm gonna attempt to hopefully pull something away.
So you make your way back out, kind of climbing through the erupting earth and broken bits of stone here in the space. You can see the downed element of this ice devil. Anything else, Minka?
That was my action, bonus action, and movement.
All right.
All good.
You make your way back around the corner. This force elemental doesn't do anything as you move away from it. That brings us to Alina. Alina, you are helped. Is there anything else that you were doing? At the end of your turn, I believe you can make a saving throw.
I don't think I can do anything, right? Because I can't speak, so I can't cast any. Like,
At the end of each of
spells.
its turns, yes, the target can make another wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
And is this still like against a spell?
It is. You do have advantage against this save.
Ruby. Oh, yummy. That's 24.
That is a success. So at the end of your turn, you finally break free from the spell. That is your turn. That brings us to Cheshire.
Somewhere a world away, a little gnome with a braid is like, my voice.
You got this, buddy.
Thank you.
And then, booking it this way.
No pun intended. You book it through the way around here into this little nook. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. That brings us to the ice devil who is dead. That brings us to this mage, or all the mages, I suppose.
Before their turn, I turn and just stare them down
That's
after what I
fair.
just said.
They do turn. They look at each other, and the one that had held person cast and had it now broken calls out, "They killed Kesselbron! No survivors!" And they reach out.
Man, they could have gotten away with this
First,
too.
the one
so
here, center
confused.
here, is going to point at the place directly between Minka, Valis, and Billy. And in that space, all of you taste metal. In this 20-foot sphere, there is a just
Pennies.
pull of gravity into the center. And can you all make intelligence saving throws?
Grab a gobble.
Are they?
I'm so sorry. Who is in this circle?
This is Billy. This is Valis. This is Minka.
Oh.
Busy
I don't.
talking about the
I'm not
pennies.
sure. Are they
I'm
within
so sorry,
10
but
feet of me?
Oridex needs to go in jail. Oridex needs to think.
not.
You know what? No.
You use that. You use that and you think about your actions.
Oh, Alina.
Me too?
Yes.
What
you
kind
as
of,
well. Intelligence saving throw, please. Your best.
Is it against
A spell, it is. Okay.
You really think should be in
Billy?
jail right now.
That is a failure,
Go ahead
Minka.
and
21.
That is a
guard it.
success. Valis?
Oh, I rolled a natural 20, but what kind of?
Intelligence
25.
saving throw. 25, that is a success as well. So, Billy, that is a failure.
Shocking.
24, that is a success as well.
Thank you.
Billy, you are the only one who fails.
Again,
As
shocking.
synaptic static explodes in space.
I forget what
Only
that
like that
Ooh.
spell when
probably did
Cheshire casts it.
He's bad.
I haven't
So-
yet.
Billy,
In
you
this
take
situation,
22 points of psychic damage. The rest of you take 11. And Billy, your thoughts become muddled. Billy, for the next minute, you subtract 3 from all of your attack rolls and ability checks, as well as your constitution saving throws to maintain concentration.
Damn.
You can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of your turn.
Okay.
But that static just ripples through the space, and then the mage off in this distance snaps, and they cast the exact same spell right in front of Alina, which will provoke a saving throw from Alina, from Minka, and from Billy.
Yeah.
Sorry, another intelligence
Intelligence.
one?
Yes.
Much worse.
Better. But still a 14.
Dirty 20. Math 20?
Dirty 20 is a success. 14 is a failure.
Shocking.
Do I get anything from Valis?
No.
No, you're not within
Damn.
10 feet.
12.
Do I get
With a
anything from
12.
Valis?
You're also
do
not
not.
within 10
With
feet.
a 12, that is a failure. Billy and Minka, the two of you fail. And this is a little bit worse. 12, 16, 22, 25. You take 25 points of psychic damage. Valis, that is half to you for 12. And for you...
Oh, I wasn't in it.
Oh, sorry. For Alina, who I think was the one who passed.
I did. Yeah.
That is a 12 for you. But for Billy and for Minka, your thoughts are muddled even further. Billy,
Damn.
luckily, it only goes down by an additional 1.
Damn.
Only 1 for you, Minka.
Does it hit these force elemental? Or
It
does
doesn't.
it?
It seems as if they do not have an intelligence score high enough for this spell to take hold.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is absolutely. So that is the Aussenloch Scholars. That brings us to the Force Elementals. This one is going to float in front of you and turn its back to you, Alina.
Oh.
This one is going to go around and provoke an attack of opportunity from both. Actually, it's going to go around. No, it has to. It's going to provoke attacks of opportunity from Billy and from Valis.
Damn,
Let's see.
that's crazy.
This is, normally I would glue these together, but this is a prototype. Therefore, no glue.
Yeah, that was the last time I was using it. I was like holding it together.
Billy, what was your attack of opportunity?
Sorry. 19 minus 4. 15.
15. That is a meets it beats it on this Force
Wow.
Elemental.
There you go. Surprising.
Valis, what about you?
20 to math 20 to hit.
That hits.
Magical 12 slashing.
Okay.
It's not sticking. You gotta stop trying to make it happen.
Yeah,
Alright,
it works
I'll go-
great in Dragon Friends.
All right, I'll go back then to what I was saying before.
18 magical piercing and 4 lightning.
Okay. The lightning does not do as much as you would expect, but the rest does.
And 8 radiant.
An 8 radiant, which does the full amount that you would expect.
Hell yeah, radiant
Okay.
here.
Absolutely glowing.
These two Force Elementals now look directly at each other, and at once you see they pull their hands back and then punch both sets of hands into the other pairs as they both activate Arcane Surge at once.
I hate this.
In a 20-foot sphere centered on each of these creatures, this is going to provoke 2 saving throws from Alina, from Minka, and then I believe 1 from Valis, and I think 2 more from Billy.
2
What
from
kind?
Billy for sure.
Of saving.
These are going to be strength saving throws.
And is it against a spell?
It is not.
Oh,
I would
So-
say, you know what? This is a spell-like ability. It's Arcane Force.
hell yeah. So 2 saving throws?
I'm assuming that's 2 failures, and I'm
Yes.
assuming I'm about to go
Got
down.
a 14 and and a dirty 1.
Ooh.
I rolled a 1 and a 2 on my second one with advantage.
Those are both failures, so hang on 1 second. Who rolled below a 16?
1.
Okay.
1. No, I rolled 1 below a 16. The other was not
2
20.
below a 16. The rest of you rolled 2 above or 1 above the 16.
Oh, sorry. Was I supposed to roll?
Valis, you rolled once.
Oh boy.
Okay. So first, for those of you who failed the first one, that is 26 points
I'm
of
down.
bludgeoning damage as these things explode in a radius outwards.
You
Yes.
said 21?
I said 26 points of force damage to
26.
those of you who failed.
No, I'm
Halve to 13 for those of you who succeeded.
I have resistance.
And if you failed, you are pushed 15 feet away from this elemental and knocked prone. If you failed from the second one, you are taking 24 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing pulses out.
I'm
That's
also
too
unwell.
And halve to 12. That is 2 auto... Or actually, you are pushed 15 feet away from the first 20 feet. So yeah, that is 2 auto failures for me.
So I am dead and
Oh,
not
no.
doing
In that
hot.
first pulse,
Wait,
Mika
dead
is
and
just
also not doing hot?
knocked unconscious, and then
Okay.
with that second
Unconscious are
pulse,
two dead
Mika's
bodies.
unconscious body is just
We can fix
wafted
this.
straight
We
into
can
the
fix
stove.
this.
You
Only
hear
one
cracks
of
as
us
Mika's
really
body
right
just
now.
crumples.
We can fix this.
And the bright lights go dim.
We can fix this.
Good.
Josh has got it.
We got this.
There's 3 of us. We
That
can do it.
is both of the force elementals. That brings us to Valis.
Oh. I go over here, and I go, no, Mika! And then I go lay on hands.
Nice.
Oh, right.
There's 3 of us.
And I will
We split the backup healing well.
bring you back to life.
I feel like that is what
Bring me
Valis'
back
lay
to
on
life.
hands is like.
Wake me up!
I slap you away, just like, get up!
Valis just running like this and then just slapping Claire.
See, I pictured Valis' like lay on hands is just to be like theater kid massage circle.
Or like a Buster Bluth kind of situation.
Hey, come on.
How many
Get
points?
off.
That's
You're
porridge.
good.
If we're
good.
being real,
Just
it's porridge.
walk it off a little bit.
How much health?
30 health back.
Very
damn.
nice.
Valis
You
is
lay
like
on
a
hands.
open
You
all
channel
clear.
the memories that you have of learning how to cure and how to heal into Minka. And Minka, you come back to consciousness. You feel terrible. And you're back. Anything
You
else,
forgot to
Valis?
study.
Let's see.
Oh god, it's a nightmare.
And I think I will move here and just be up front and center.
Okay.
And that was my action, and I think I am done.
You level your shield at this arcane force elemental, and that is your turn. That brings us to Billy.
// Billy is moving forward towards the nearest elemental.
Okay.
Because
Oh,
damn,
yeah.
it hurts, but also, like, they hurt my friends.
Yeah. It takes you a little longer to run, as this area is, I believe, difficult terrain, but you can still make it there, no problem.
Are you up or you down,
I'm
Lena?
prone.
First
but
attack is
I'm
a
alive.
15 on the die.
That is a
No,
miss.
no, I apologize. It's an 11 because I'm at -4.
That is a miss.
And a 13.
That is a miss as well.
Love that for me.
As you are under the effects of this ability, this magic kind of seeping across you, it is like the arcane force pulls your muscles in unpredictable directions, and you can't quite make a coordinated attack. Anything else, Billy?
Billy's eyes kind of like slide over to the mages in the corner. Why'd you have to do this? Hex.
Okay. The shadows crawl across the space and strike into them. From where you are with the force elementals, they seem to be a little bit more focused on Valis at this moment, but no worries, you do that. Anything else?
Nope. Bonus action movement. That's all there.
All
What's
right.
that for Hex?
What?
Is this Hexblade or Hex?
Oh. Let's do intelligence, because Hex doesn't pronounce saving throws, and that's
Okay, so you hex Denevra's intelligence. That is your turn. That brings us to the top of the round and to Ori.
I'm sneaking up behind this motherfucker. I'm gonna stab him.
do
Okay,
it.
make an attack roll. You can see the shadows of Billy's hex crawling across their shoulders. They begin to kind of brush it off as they begin to cast their next spell.
That is a 31, I believe.
31 is a hit.
And I'm gonna stab him real good here. Let me see. Sorry. That's.
You're welcome.
I must have some.
Need one other.
What you need?
That's a cool looking d6.
And. Actually, I don't use that yet.
All
Liquid
that.
core.
That's gonna be. 28 magical mirror key, I believe, is slashing or piercing.
Piercing because it's a short sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, piercing, and that is magical, correct?
Yes.
Very nice. They actually, with Stone Skin, have resistance against this ability. That was how much?
20. What did I say? 28 or 26?
Does stone skin work against magical?
I don't know if it's stone skin that's giving it damage from spells resistance, but that's the resistance that it has. They also have non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. That might be from stone skin.
Wait, but it's magical piercing.
Correct.
So it's not.
Oh no, it's not a spell. Right, it's magical piercing. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a stab.
Anything else?
Yeah, then I'm going to bonus action quick toss at this guy.
Okay.
From here. While free action saying, give up now or I'll kill you both.
Okay.
I kill you. I kill you.
I kill you.
And that's going to be a 23 to hit.
23 hits.
And that's going to be this guy, which I can use the metal one for. Oh wait, no. Because it's the star, so it's actually this guy. Nice. That's going to be another 16 points of magical piercing to this guy over here.
Very nice. Does the full amount as that sinks into their leg? Anything else, Ori?
That's it for me right now.
All right, you stay where you are. You threaten this individual with the mirror blade in your hand. That brings us... Interesting. Ori, roll a d100.
What? Oh, damn. Why do you do that? Why do you do that?
What did you do,
Got
Ori?
it?
Why are you doing what
He said interesting. Oh. Do you think that's
Why you do?
Low is good, right? This is divine intervention.
Oh my god, he just pulled out something.
As you bring this blade to bear, as you swing it for just a moment, time slows down, and you see the blade directly in front of your face. In the mirror behind you, you see this bulging red eye. You see this fur-colored hat. You see the Madam of Dark Reflections, and they say, "You shouldn't have pissed me off." And they gesture, and there is a beam of magical energy that crosses as they are going to restore the Ice Devil with 63 points of health.
Fuck!
And you see the broken bits of
That's not
chitin
my
suddenly
fault.
pop out. You can see the
fuck is that
leg
my
refill. You can see the dust draws back up into this chitinous form. And in Infernal, the Ice Devil says, "Ross Metot, Vendendorfinen." And they, this cold aura again, which radiates out, this brutal cold 20 feet away from them. Yes.
What do you say?
Is this Ice Devil,
Yes.
which has been reconstituted,
Yes.
still Hexblade's cursed?
It is not.
Because
Damn.
you moved it
Yes.
too.
No, she moved. She
No,
placed a
it's-
curse.
It's hex.
Hex
Still
is
though,
different
when
from
it
Hexblade
drops.
curse.
It's a good question though.
Yes.
What did?
I have tongues up. What did you say?
All he said was, "You thought you could kill Kazelbron. You were sadly mistaken."
It was just because of the sword. It wasn't you.
That is Ori
You ain't
flashing
shit,
the mirror
man!
blade, drawing this creature back in. Anything else, Ori?
I think we learned something today.
We did.
Don't fuck with the sword.
You learned a lot.
Yeah.
In fairness.
We didn't know, but
I
now we
got
do.
nothing.
No.
That brings us to Minka.
Thought maybe, but it was worth the risk.
Ooh, I'm gonna stand up.
Well, also, I have
Okay,
nothing
you
else to
crawl
use.
to your feet. You are in rough shape. After Valos brought you back, you feel a little bit better, but you turn and you watch as the Ice Devil reconstitutes itself directly in front of you. And as you start within the radius of the aura of Hateful Cold,
What's the radius?
20 feet, you take 7 points of ice damage.
Good thing I didn't just give you 7.
Yeah, I was
Oh, yep.
Alright, so I'm gonna channel the chalice. Burning my second thing, and I'm going to count. This should be 5, 10, pulled out 5 and 30. Yes, okay. I'm going to center mass cure wounds
Oh, yes.
right here.
Very
Through the chalice,
nice.
and that gets all of my allies except for Ori. Actually,
You're not even hurt, right?
No, I'm good.
He's
No,
so
over
healthy,
here.
right? He is
30.
hale.
yeah, no, it's
Absolutely hale.
It's good. I also miss Cheshire because Cheshire is still fine. in that.
Different game.
But we.
So you cast Mass Cure Wounds. You can see the stars kind of coalesce in that space, forming the chalice separate from your body, and then it overflows around you. All of your allies, suffused with the light of the celestial energy, regain massive amounts of health.
All right, so everyone gets a grand total of 23 points back.
Very nice.
And then I will use my chalice form bonus to heal myself.
Yes,
It's late, but can I make my intelligence saving throw to not be -4?
yes, you can.
Okay.
No, you must be minus.
You get.
You said 19?
Yes.
That is a success.
Remain minus
Break
4.
free from this effect. Your thoughts become yours once more.
Stew
13
in
points
your
of-
ignorance.
13 points more back to
I have
me.
enough ignorance, thank you.
Okay, so that was.
It's too thick. You have to thin it down a little bit.
The chalice erupts this radiant light across the
All right,
battlefield.
cool.
Many of you regain health. Anything else, Minka?
Yes, so that was my action. And is my bonus action to re-pick up the thing. And then it is in the movement time. I spent half my movement to stand up, so I'll spend the other half of 5, 10, 15 to move the fuck away.
You walk around this corner, kind of looking off at this other book. In the smaller looking cage, though it is the same size as the rest, you can see this, versus the other books here, more mundane looking. It is red of cover. You can see these kind of flexed muscles that are on the cover of it. This manual kind of lies in front of you, just up on this stone, but you kind of make your way away from it and into that little alcove. That is your turn, Minka. All right, that brings us to Alina. Cheshire, you're on deck.
Fuck this devil. I stand up. And I'm gonna go ahead and cast. Hold on 1 second. Let me just. Up to 60 feet. Okay, I'm gonna cast Wall of Light.
Very
But I'm gonna
nice.
do it. It's gonna stop short of Valis, so just right here. Because it can be what?
Nothing. That's fine. Continue.
You're gonna hit Billy because Billy's also in here. I don't know if you can
Oh,
see.
I didn't see her. No, I take it back. I didn't see Billy in there.
Okay.
That's why she's like, oh.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to.
Throw your girl under the bus real quick.
No, never.
I deserve it.
I'm gonna come over here
The Ori dice have said I deserve
and cast Wall of Light this way.
There we go.
You turn, you cast Wall of Light, and in this moment, this mage directly in front of you turns and casts Counterspell at 3rd level.
Wait.
Which one?
The one that's directly in front of Alina.
Oh, okay. This one here.
The one that Alina goes right in front of to cast.
That uses the spell slot still, right?
It does, yes. And what level are you casting your spell at?
5.
5. So this is going to be a 23 for their Arcana check, and they are able to finally overcome your ability.
Oh, I need to make my intelligence.
All right. As a free action, I'm like, you guys suck. You're working with the devil? Haven't you heard what they say about working with devils? It's no good, man. And I'm just gonna gloss over the fact that my familiar is also a troll.
Yeah, they're not here right now.
He's not
They don't
here.
count.
He's dead.
Question.
Yes.
The saving throw against the -1 effect?
Yes.
Is that is it
Intelligence.
intelligence saving throw,
Yep.
right? So I rolled a 21, which I'm assuming.
That is a success.
Okay. We free.
So,
I got to keep the spell slot because of my.
very nice.
Yeah, that is
The
nice.
waistcoat of the Nightmare Rider
Yes.
snaps around you, and you can feel the arcane energy unable to pull away from you, almost becoming a part of the combat that you are within. But that is your turn.
Cannot headbutt him, unfortunately. So, yeah, she's gonna be like, put him up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You pull your hands up, elements of arcane energy swirling around them, but that brings us to Cheshire.
We're gonna try this. I don't know how well this is gonna work, but the 40-foot cube
Yes.
of slow is going to be placed.
Very nice. Beautiful place. Okay,
That
so
is a wisdom saving throw.
first from the mages for the first one. So they get to roll advantage because they have magic resistance. Still, it's intelligence save.
It is an wisdom save.
Wisdom save. For their second best save, only a 13 for that one.
That is a failure.
For the other person who's directly in front of Ori, that is a D12. That is not going to be great either. A 20.
That'll make it though.
And then the first of these force elementals, wisdom save.
Yep.
I think you're not get advantage. It doesn't matter. That's a 22 for the first and a 13 for the second. So the one that is directly in front of Billy fails.
It is only up to 6 creatures, so it can only hit, I believe, Valis or Billy.
Correct. Who are you choosing?
Valis.
Valis. Make that wisdom saving throw.
12.
Oh no.
What's going on?
So, right down the middle, half of all creatures within the slow fail. You can see one of the actually one mage, one force elemental, and one Valis. Anything else, Cheshire, as you slow down the center of the room?
I'm going to back up a couple steps.
All right, you back up a couple steps. You make your way further away from this combat, and that brings us to the Ice Devil. So, this Ice Devil, we did not think we would be seeing again, is going to take a multi-attack against... Probably, they're going to turn and take a multi-attack against Billy, at least to start.
Cool.
Billy, they're flanking you with this Force Elemental, so these
Hate
attacks
that.
are at advantage. They're first going to attack with a bite. That is going to be a 30 to hit.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, you are taking only 7 points of piercing damage, plus 9 points of cold damage.
And this is the Frost Devil?
Correct.
Okay.
They're then slashing out with their
On the
claws.
second attack, I'm gonna do a minus reaction, -6 to hit.
18 to hit.
Meets it. Not meets it. It doesn't even meet it. It surpasses it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Surpasses it. So with the claws, they are able to dig in for 9 points of slashing damage, plus 12 points of cold damage. And then after they slash across your chest, they wheel back around to face Alina, and the tail carves across your body for the third attack. Although this is going to be quite low at 18.
I'm over here now.
18?
18?
Yep.
That hits.
There you go. With the tail hitting, that is going to be 10 points of bludgeoning damage, plus
Oh.
16 points of cold damage. And
Yeah.
that is the
We're all
Ice
down
Devil
into
as they hit you once, and then again, and then a third time. They lash out at you and then hold this spear high, ready to strike again, but that is all that they can do on their turn.
Smash.
Stop it! Hellish Rebuke.
Hellish Rebuke. What kind of saving throw is that?
Dexterity, please.
Uh-oh, what kind of damage is that?
It's
But they're
damage.
With a dexterity saving throw, that is a 24.
Alright, it still takes half. Just have to double check how many dice it is at this level. Because Warlock. Oh no, it's in the reactions column.
Bard lock.
Bard
It's more
lock.
complicated.
So complex.
The slowed mage is taking their entire movement just to slowly turn and look at Alina.
He doesn't have reactions anymore.
Does not.
Cheshire.
32 points of fire damage, which I'm assuming is halved.
It is zeroed, as this individual immune from fire damage, as he was the last 2 times that he was dealt fire damage.
I thought it was resistant.
Damn, Billy really is dumb.
Damn, brutal. Anything else, Billy? Anything else, Billy?
Billy will remember that.
Arrow will remember
I
that.
was telling her to leave you alone. Hasn't he been through enough?
All
But
right.
no.
That is Billy's turn. Or sorry, no, it's not Billy's turn. That is Billy's reaction.
Billy has done nothing.
To be
Billy's at 1
multi-attacked
HP
by-
and Dory's over here
That
saying
is the
fuck
end
you.
of the Ice Devil's turn. That brings us to the mages.
Mage time.
One of the mages slowly turns to face you, Alina.
Hello.
They are not able to do too much, so all that they can do here is cast Ray of Frost on you.
Is he? Oh, we're not in base contact.
Alina does a...
Well, first, roll a d20 because of slow.
Oh, yes. Good point. 4.
If on 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until
Okay,
so this takes effect now.
So in this moment, they fire out this beam. Does an 18 hit?
Wait, which one is
Yeah.
this?
All right.
The one next to me, or like he's close to me.
Alina, this ray of frost traces out at you, and you are going to take 8 points of cold damage, and your speed reduced by 10 until the start of your next turn.
As a free action reaction, can I be like, oh no, a little frost?
Yeah, absolutely. They try to spread the slow to you as much as they can.
Chilly.
This other mage, as they turn, they look for just a moment over at Ori, but then they reach back out and they say, "Never surrender!" And they're going to cast
a
Ice
spell.
Storm.
Reaction, I'm gonna not do that because I'm gonna hit them with a melee attack.
Okay. Does it stop the spell?
It doesn't stop the spell. I think it just gives you an attack of opportunity.
Okay, so make your attack of opportunity, but
I'm gonna kill
pretty
them,
good.
so-
But if it kills them, though, it'll
but
stop
maybe-
the spell.
Maybe I can finish just doing the spell first so we can kind of stack order everything here.
It is a 30 to hit,
30 is going to be a hit.
and I believe I can make it a sneak attack.
were you asking?
I think you need to take an attack action. Let me double check.
Action.
Because I thought it was once per turn on your...
Once per turn, but it's not his turn.
It's any turn, and it is his turn now.
But why did you have advantage? Were you hidden?
Oh, I guess I'm no longer hidden. Never mind. You're right.
Yeah.
He is aware that you're there.
Yes.
You
roll
did stab
damage.
him.
And he's
Pretty
not.
hard.
He is not affected by. Whatchamacallit. So, what am I hitting?
Rude. This now.
Pretty
He did have
freaking
advantage,
rude.
though. It would have been a sneak attack.
This is Ice Storm being cast directly over this space. This 40-foot tall column, 20-foot wide
Damn.
space just is erupting
Kyle.
now in a blizzard.
That's still going to be 15 points of magical piercing on him.
15 points of magical piercing. Very nice.
Does that take effect after or before the spell is cast?
It's a
important for concentration
reaction. I guess it would be before because it's a reaction as it's being cast. So
Okay.
technically, if that had killed him, the spell wouldn't have gone off. But doesn't kill him. Spell does go off. Ice Storm erupts over the space. Ice begins to cascade down. It strikes into these force elementals, into this Ice Devil, into Billy, into Valis, and into Minka as well. Billy, Valis, and Minka, can you please make dexterity saving throws?
18. Wait. 18.
18, that is a success.
26.
26 is a success as well.
10.
That is a failure. So, first, as the ice begins to fall, creatures within this space are going to be taking 13 points of bludgeoning damage, half to 6 if you
Goodbye.
succeed.
We have resistance, but I don't think that matters.
It's
In
1
addition
HP, man.
to that,
Or you can have it.
as part of that same attack, this is not a second attack, you
Okay.
are taking 16 points of cold damage as well. The hail that is in this space transforms the entire ground into a slick, difficult surface. And all of that space, in addition to Minka's erupting earth, is difficult terrain as well.
Hex on the mage is gone.
Okay. Hex disappears off this mage. This ice storm continues to just fall and erupt for just a moment longer before the ice crystallizes around the floor. That is their turn. That is both mages. That brings us to the force elementals. For what it's worth, the force elementals do both take cold damage. And one of them actually does fail. Okay. First, do they get their ability back?
Cool if
They
not.
do not.
Nice. It was cool that not.
Bill, you're down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Oh no. Alice. Oh no.
I'm glad that they're sentient enough to be like, oh, not a threat.
Are they still able
because
to make
they
it to
just
me
sense
when they're slowed?
They are.
Okay.
These creatures, you
I mean, I'm
imagine,
unconscious,
have
not
the
dead,
ability to
man.
fly pretty quick. Even if one of them is slowed, they're able to make it over. Now, one of them can only make a single attack. We'll start with that one. Valis, does a 19 hit?
It wouldn't, but I'm slow, so it hits me.
Oh, very unfortunate. So both of you are moving in slow motion. You begin to dodge. It adjusts because it can tell, and it just barely strikes into you. You take this slam, and even at slow motion, it hurts. Valis, or maybe not. It doesn't hurt that much. In slow motion, you take 9 points of bludgeoning
I
damage.
take
or force
9
damage,
slow
sorry.
motion damage. Okay.
9
See it
slow
coming, you
motion
have enough
points
time,
of
just like
force
stick your tongue
damage.
in to like.
The other one in that same space strikes twice. And Valis, that is going to be 2 misses, almost certainly. 16 does not hit, correct?
Correct.
All right.
I slowly dodge.
The shield moves up, you dodge the other. You are slow, but not slow enough.
It's bullet time, but boring.
That is all of the force elementals. That brings us to Valis. Valis, you are slowed. Do they get to make saves at the end of their...
I believe they do.
Oh, okay. So then, give me 1 second. For the mage is going to succeed, so they are no longer slowed. And for the force guy, he fell, so he is still slowed.
All these guys get to watch me slowly run by and go, Billy! And I go lay on hands on Billy to...
Okay. Where are you going to, Billy?
I will go... Which one of these
Because
is
you're
slow?
slowed and you're in difficult terrain, so you're...
Oh, no,
moving-
the difficult terrain's over here.
No,
No,
it's
you're in it. Ice
20
storm.
feet.
Ice storm.
Oh.
20 feet is
Nice.
difficult terrain.
Well, I'd move over here.
So
What
you're
does
moving-
slow do?
You're moving at
Quarter
quarter speed, I believe.
Quarter speed, yeah.
Alright, I just want to move over here.
Okay, yeah, you can move 5 feet.
Alright. And I think that will provoke an attack of
It will
opportunity,
from one
but...
of these force devils. And, very
Force
fortunately, it is the slowed one. And
Ah!
so you are able to step out, just misses you.
And I will heal Billy back. 10...
Billy, come back.
15 15 HP.
There you go. You bring Billy right back to health. Billy, you are brought back to life amidst broken stone and falling ice.
Elementals
Force
said it before,
elementals
too.
swirling over top. Anything else, Valis?
What kind of saving throw is slow again at the end of the turn?
Wisdom.
Wisdom? Alright, that would be a dirty 20.
That succeeds.
Hell
Go.
yeah.
You're looking at me like I'm casting.
Why?
That's
How
our
could you
team.
do this to me, Joe?
That is your turn, Valis.
plan is
Great
coming
free
together.
of Cheshire's abilities. That brings us to you, Billy. Billy, you are brought back to life on the ground. What would you like to
Billy stands up.
do? Vince, get a little bit more of that one.
Yeah. You can get the rest.
Oh. This is good.
Billy's over this. We're gonna slash the devil.
All right, make your attack rolls.
First one's gonna be an 18.
An 18 is a miss.
Figured. Second one's gonna be a 24.
That is a hit.
Great.
Devils didn't get slow.
The devil didn't.
They didn't.
The devil been down to Georgia. We're gonna make it a defensive flourish. Nope. No, we're not gonna make it to a defensive flourish. No one's actually hit me. It's just saving throws. We're gonna make this a. Let's make this a slashing flourish so that we might get another guy.
Absolutely.
All right, so that is 3 points of lightning damage, 16 points of. Excuse me, 21 points of magical piercing. 5 of which also hit one of the elementals. I leave it to DM discretion which one it hits.
Okay.
They
How
are
much?
both equal targets.
How much?
5.
And what kind of damage?
Magical
Lightning?
piercing.
Magical piercing. Okay, that does the full amount that you would affect. One of these force elementals looking really rough, but still up. Anything else?
All of this is awful, and I hate libraries.
That
Bardic
brings
inspiration to make it.
That brings us to the top of the round and to Ori. Ori, you are directly behind this person. You have just brandished this sword and saw this creature bring one of your most deadly enemies in this room back to life. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna stab him with a dagger.
Okay. You stab him with these
before I do that, I guess I'm gonna. I'm gonna bonus actions insightful fighting
Okay.
on the devil,
Okay.
and I'm going to actually shoot the devil from where I am.
Okay.
with
Insightful fighting is
crossbow.
against their insight?
It's insight against deception. So it's like 34 or something. Okay, cool. So without having advantage, I can make an attack with sneak attack. But I think I have advantage
You do.
on him anyway. So in case he doesn't die, but that's gonna be a 23 to hit.
23 is a hit.
And it's gonna be. I will make it another trip attack.
Okay. Comes back to
This
life.
guy, yeah.
Okay. What kind of save is that?
Get back on the ground.
Strength save.
With this particular check, he is going to roll a 24.
Oh, he does save. Okay, so
Finally, he plants this haft of the spear into the ground.
I've
and
seen
he
this trick
refuses
before.
to fall. Tail.
Me once, that's
His legs go wide.
still gonna take. 38 magical piercing.
And that's more than enough. As you are able to sink this in,
your
even
foot
as they are
into
not
the
able to
ground.
fall, you can see the arrow goes deep. They go wide with their legs. They plant this wide stance, and they look up at you defiant. And then the arrow just kind of falls out, and there is a gout of blood as the blades begin to sink in on themselves. They try to take a step towards you, Ori, but they collapse back into ash.
He dies again.
Die a second time, and
Bitch.
you know, at this point, I might as well. I'm gonna action surge, and then I'm gonna fucking hit the guy. In
There you go.
front.
Make your attack.
I recommend with a knife.
Yeah, with the knife.
No, use the sword again. No way it happens
No.
again, right?
You
No
don't
way.
know better than us understand that
Third
that's
round.
Ori knows.
what happened. Ori knows.
Ori
Killing this devil's
Yeah,
kind
no
of
one
fun.
else-
Let's
yeah.
do it again.
No
Run
one
it
else
back.
saw that happen,
No.
right?
Just suddenly he's back.
Like for all we know, it's just
Yeah.
it's got some
That's
kind of
a
ability that allows it to come back.
29, I think.
29 is a hit.
And then that's gonna be.
For what it's worth, I believe he has disadvantage on the concentration check, right?
They do.
And that's gonna be another 14 points of magical piercing.
With
on that
14
guy.
points, they had 14 hit points left.
Wow.
You fire, and you are able to strike into the person who is right behind you. They go right in front of you,
Oh,
and they
it's a
just
stab.
drop to the
Not
ground.
a
You
not a
stab.
fire, but a stab.
You
Yeah.
stab them right in the back. They had already taken a good amount of damage, and that is the rest of it. Anything else, Ori?
That's it for me.
Can you roll a d20 for me?
Oh no.
So.
Stop making Ori roll dice.
Oh, good God!
In this moment, Ori,
Oh,
as you
The matter
fell
arrives
this
and
mage,
stabs you.
you look over and you can see this force elemental no longer bound to a master. It roars and disappears.
Woo, I don't like that. Which one?
Anything
off
else,
somewhere.
Ori?
Which one?
The one that is closest to Ori. The one that is not slowed.
Hooray.
Well, it's in a place with a lot of books. I'm sure that's fine. That's it for me.
Alrighty. That brings us to
I didn't think about that.
the sword!
I didn't use the sword.
Get it.
You don't know that.
That was from killing the master of the force elemental.
What you
so
do?
we
Oh,
know.
never mind. I thought that was
So
a
it's
sword.
it's unbound now.
Yeah.
A lot less grossness is happening. It went from like a bunch of people to less people.
Yeah, less people.
Is the floor still icy?
I missed
Yeah,
that.
floor's still icy.
Okay. So, Minka's gonna move forward a little bit,
It's probably fine.
and then she's going to replay the Mass Cure Wounds, but centering it here,
Nice.
which I believe will get, once again, everyone that it targets. So
I believe so.
1, 2,
Everybody but Cheshire.
and then 4
Which is
We'll get over too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're perfectly hit, alright.
Okay, so that gives us, once again, I'll roll it on here. It's slightly faster. Oh, I didn't fucking roll because there's the button, not the button. Shitty. 14 points of healing. Actually, yeah.
Every little bit counts.
Wait, it's
How many?
also
14?
Sorry. Oh, I got a +4 on that. Never mind. 18 points of healing.
Nice.
And then I'll use the Charles ones on myself, which will be 2d8 for these guys. Okay, cool. So, excellent. Okay, now that was my action.
Yep.
So I moved, and then I'm actually going to step back again.
Okay.
So I was.
You were right on the edge of the difficult terrain, huh?
Okay.
Oh,
So-
it's probably gone now, right? Oh,
No?
3.
okay.
Okay, so I can't move anymore. So, but I will use a free action to go from Chalice to
Archer?
Archer, yeah, and shoot the.
Yeah, go
fucking
for it. Make your
elemental.
attack roll. Who are you shooting? The arcane force elemental?
Yeah,
All right.
and hopefully this is fine.
It is slowed.
Okay, so does a 21 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay, awesome. So that is. Is it not on here? Is it? It's like 2d8. 5. Oh, pretty much the same rolls. 8. 16 points of radiant damage.
16 points of radiant damage. It does the full amount that you would expect. And this creature had 16 health left. As you meet the theme of the night exactly enough, you vanquish the slowed force elemental, being pinged down by multiple members of your party, taking the hellish rebuke. That was the last straw. Now there is just a single mage left. You can see they are sort of slowed and off near Alina. What are you? Anything else, Minka?
Nope, that's it.
All right. That brings us to Alina. Alina, this individual directly in front of you, they're a little hurt.
And they're slow.
There's no other
They're a lot
guys here. Alina's gonna go up and grab him and push him against the wall, and I'd like to make an intimidation check to say, stand down and we will spare your life.
Okay. Make an intimidation check.
Witnesses! you do whatever you want. Natural 20 for a total of 25.
Nice.
With a natural 20 in this moment, you pin them up against the wall, and your waistcoat of the Nightmare Rider flares to life. There is the beat of drums all behind you. They are beholding not just you, not just the space, but the entirety of the wild hunt. These skulled riders, these archfey and elemental creatures behind, and they are dumbstruck. And in this moment, they faint. And you are all out of initiative.
Did you say?
Yes,
Damn
as
it! I
you-
wanted to ask him stuff.
I mean, you can.
No, I know.
But they are out of battle in this moment. They kind of hit the ground. The elements of arcane force that are still active in this room peter out, save the ones that are in these powerful arcane tomes. And you are all out of initiative. And
Really 9 HP back.
there you go, 9 HP back. And because it is 9:10, we're going to step away for a quick break, and then we'll come back for the end of our session.
More wine.
But thank you for sticking with us for this session. We'll be back in just a little bit. We'll see you then. And we're back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. If you did, if not, welcome to D&D. I hit my camera during the combat a little bit. Yeah. Let's just jump right back into D&D. For all of you now, with the Infernal Patrol now laid to rest, Alina, you have pinned one of these mages up against the stone, and with your intimidation and your natural 20, they pass out in fear. And as you pin them against the stone, they kind of slump over, and the rest of you are out of initiative. You are now in this space, surrounded by these books. And what are you all doing?
So Alina, as the guy slumps over, she's going to be like, pussy, and she's going to just sit on him so that if he wakes up, like, not in a weird way, she's just going to, like, sit on his torso or whatever, like, just so that if he wakes up, she's got
It wasn't weird
pinned.
until you said
Roll a
it wasn't
D100.
weird.
Me? Roll a D100?
Yeah.
Just
What
see
did
which
I
part
do?
of him you're sitting on.
Alberon, I forgot.
9.
9.
Uh-oh. At least it wasn't a 6.
As you sit on them, and the rest of your party kind of gathers themselves up over this first minute or so, you can feel this unconscious person in their sleep begin to kind of toss and turn. They're underneath you, they can't roll over, but they're having nightmares almost instantly. You feel in this space they're having bad dreams. They kind of push at you very lightly, and you can hear them murmur, "No, get away, get away." And they kind of push up against you, but you sit on them, no problem.
And Alina's going to be like...
Okay.
And then she's going to look to the rest of the group and be like, well, is there any way we can make this guy guide us through the rest of the levels?
Maybe. But first, does anyone need healing? Because I do.
Oh, I am very badly hurt, yes.
Good. Okay, gather
I
around.
think I'm bleeding on him, sorry.
I'm gonna
Minka
tie
will,
Should we
him up.
just
plop herself
Tie him up.
next to Alina and then beckon Billy over.
rest her for a bit and bandage her wounds?
I'm tying them up.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check, just for fun.
If we're short on time, we can go inside my ring and do what we could normally do in an hour just within 10 minutes. Just saying.
Is that new?
No, it's always been possible. I keep suggesting it, and no one ever wants to.
Underneath you, as you're saying that, you turn and you look directly at Ori, who
Seriously.
is just tying up this individual. The mage now bound, their hands no longer free. Are you covering their mouth too, or no?
Yes, because they had used verbal components
Yes, they
to
have.
spells.
Certainly have.
Stuck a sock in his mouth.
Everybody just has spare socks.
Oh, Alina doesn't wear socks. She just has one for such purposes.
There you go.
It's usually for door handles.
Alina's like, I mean, I do think we should catch our breath for a second. Do we want to do it in 10 minutes? Or can we give an hour for this?
If you can save time, that seems wise.
I'll go in the ring, please.
So, first though, I can just do some healing immediately and then we can assess.
I'm fine. I'd like to keep moving.
Are you?
I mean, you could hold the ring for 10 minutes then if you don't want to.
That's fine.
How's Valis
Okay.
doing? Does he want healing?
He could use a little bit of healing.
Okay.
I would like to be healed if you have.
So between the three of you?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Is there anything on this guy as I'm tying him up?
Make an investigation check.
There's the other guy too, as well. Is anything on that guy?
Make an investigation.
Oh, 26.
Okay.
Billy's at 24 out of 115.
Damn. We have the same number of hit points.
Almost as if we're relatively the same.
With
We're
a
not
26,
at all, though.
you find a little scrap of parchment in this person's pocket. Ori, what languages do you speak?
Sylvan, Common, Elvish, and Thieves' Cant.
Okay. So
And probably a little bit of Grung at this point.
Conversational growing.
So you don't speak Infernal, right?
No,
Okay. So
only the
you
couple
see
of things that I've written down.
the word Kruto.
Kruto.
Kruto. You see the word Avasne. And then you see a word in Elvish that means open.
Alina's gonna look over his shoulder and just read.
What's this say?
You see open, open,
So is it like open in 3 different languages?
It is.
What is it in? It's an Elven, Inferno, and what's the third one?
Orc. Kruto is open for orc.
Oh, so, but
This
we
is
wouldn't
open.
know that, right? Unless you actually knew the languages.
Correct. So Alina can read it. You have an idea that that center one is open because you can read Elvish.
Can I tell that the other 2 are in different languages?
Yes.
Okay.
I could probably tell that the one is infernal because I've seen enough infernal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. And that one, I don't know, but it's different.
Okay, so there's probably some passageways that we need to open using these languages. Right?
Oh, yeah, that
What
makes
was your
sense.
investigation check?
13.
With a 13, you look around, and not a lot on this individual. You had seen that they had carried these spheres that the force elementals had traveled within. That seems to be most of the sort of items that they had. Aside from that, they do have these Aussenloch robes. Many of you are wearing these sort of fake seeming versions, but you could take these.
I would like to hide the dead body as best I can by stuffing it in a dark corner, like over here or something.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Do we need to take a rest or not? Because, Ori, maybe while you're working on what you're working on, you can hold the ring.
Body over.
I could also put the body inside the ring, but
Oh, well, yeah, if that's easier. I mean, I'm
yeah.
already all the way over
Just
here, but
promise we can get it out of there sooner rather than later.
I mean, I'm gonna go as quickly as I can, so you can go out whenever.
What?
I'm
I
going to
didn't.
go as quickly as I can, so you can come out whenever.
Yeah, okay. So Alina's gonna like hand her ring to Ori and be like, please do not leave this room until we're done. 10 minutes, that's all we need.
Wait, what? I wanted to go ahead.
You want to carry us with you ahead?
You should not go ahead alone.
Well,
Well, I'm
We're
going
hurt
to
and we
be
need to
safe.
rest.
You can rest while you're in the ring. I'll be cautious.
Ori, not for nothing, but you being cautious usually ends up with us bloody and fighting something.
Well, that's also because you're usually out near me.
No. No. We have
No.
come many times with you starting the fight before we got there.
This exact scenario, in fact.
so listen, if we just wait, we can get ourselves patched up and then
Cheshire seems to be willing to hold the ring.
sorry, Ori. Okay, just 10 minutes and everyone try to think of a way we can maybe make this guy help us.
10 minutes.
Okay. Wait, are we putting the bodies in the ring or not?
It would just be the corpse of this mage? Are we leaving the devil corpse here or is it ashes?
Is it ashes?
Ashes.
Okay. Well, someone will know something happened because it's a little bit messy here.
The
Mending.
stone floor
Mending.
broken.
Mending.
Billy begins to mend the
Mending.
stone floor.
Also,
Mending.
While that happened,
Prestidigitate the little hailstones away from the ice
Alina's
storm.
like,
yeah.
oh, fine, I'll
Javaris.
put this dead body in my ring.
Mending, mending,
Javaris,
mending,
has
mending, mending.
the Aussenloch always been in league with devils or fiends? Or, I mean, you just saw what I just saw.
Valis, for the 4th time, I do not have eyes, but I perceived what you perceived. No, the Aussenloch has not stooped to such levels before. This is troubling.
I agree. Thanks, Javaris.
Okay, time to snooze. Ori, I'm sorry. Cheshire gets to hold the ring. 10 minutes, and then we can move on. And she's gonna take the body too and be like, zoop!
Did we do enough mending
I mean, Cheshire will continue to kind of
to fix the floor?
No.
Damn.
20-foot sphere.
Each square takes about a minute to clear by hand.
Magical mending.
Yeah. So you begin to mend. Alina shifts
Anyone
over into
who-
this kind of bottle.
Going in.
Anyone who wants a
You go
10-minute
in.
short rest, and I think I have
Billy
a
goes in.
bonus to it. I just need to find it.
Okay.
Well, if I'm not able
Valis,
to
are you going
do
in as well?
anything-
Yeah.
Okay. So Cheshire and Ori, the two of you remain outside the ring.
Does this individual wake up during this 10 minutes?
So you are all beginning your short rest.
Before I go in, I just want to divine sense before I go into the ring and just
Okay.
see if there's anything nearby that might be hidden.
You divine sense. Now, what does that detect?
Within 60 feet, not behind total cover, celestial fiend undead.
Celestial, fiend, or undead. You know, what is the range on that?
60 feet.
In the book that is directly in the center, right there. This blackened tome bound in stitched leather that seems to be made of various different kinds of animal flesh. The title is etched in gold leaf that kind of almost seems to bleed into the fabric itself. As you cast Divine Sense, there is something undead about this book.
Was this the one that was speaking and telling Billy that it can teach Billy Giant?
No.
No, that was different.
Not that you would know this, but no.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, Billy said out loud, it can teach me Giant.
Yeah, but it wasn't that
Not
one.
that one.
Oh, okay.
That was a different
Other
one.
book.
Yeah.
that can
Oh.
speak
Multiples
to
have
minds.
talked.
That's the necromantic tome.
Okay. All right.
If you're taking a short rest and rolling hit dice, you can add your proficiency bonus to one of them, so like 4 extra hit points.
Does the short rest finish?
So, you begin your short rest.
Okay.
Ori and Cheshire, is there anything that you're doing over the course of
I
this
am
time?
watching this individual, and if he wakes up before the 10 minutes are up, I would like to do something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna sneak downstairs, not going past the silence cloth for the next level.
Okay.
But I want to just make sure that there's no one else coming up right now. Because if there's
So you sneak
one
down
devil,
15 feet. You can see further down, there is that big stone aperture, and then the ceiling blocks your sight of the rest of the floor. Though you can hear in the echoes of the just little bits of sound that your footsteps make, there is certainly a voluminous space that is opening underneath. You can see little bits of crates, maybe a storage space, but you can't see too much further without going past the silence and past the ceiling where it gets a little bit lower in the space above or below. 5 minutes go by.
All right, then I'm gonna go back up and see if this guy wakes up. That Cheshire and I can be good cop, bad cop. Good cop, bad cop.
And as you pop up there, you notice that this individual has woken up. They're silent, as they do have a sock apparently stuffed in their mouth. They're not trying to talk either. You can see their eyes kind of flitting around, trying to take in the room.
How do you want to do this?
Cheshire's gonna lean down so she can see his eyes
Okay.
and say, "You
Yeah,
work
basically.
for me now," and that is Gesh.
Okay. What kind of saving throw
I
is that?
believe it is a wisdom saving throw.
Very nice.
Hang on here.
Them wizards
Our
not be
magic
wise.
resistant
Spelled
wisdom saving
G-A-S.
throw.
Is that how you say that word?
Gesh.
I had no idea.
I always say geese because
I've also always said
Gay ass.
I thought it was Gash.
Now I'm curious.
We'll get the Google out and we'll have it pronounce
Gaelic.
it.
Just curious, really.
So you look into this person's eyes. You say, "You work for me now." They look up at you. You see into these hazel eyes. There is a brief loosening of their focus and their attention. It is like they almost fall asleep looking at you. And then they blink this away and just nod.
Yeah. All right, I'll
I'll help
untie
him
him.
to his feet.
I'll untie him. Help him to his
You
feet
untie
after
him, you help
Cheshire
him to your
is
feet.
like
Do you
6.
ungag this individual?
Yeah.
You ungag him.
As
He
long as
kind of spits out the fibers from this hoof sock and nods his head. And he says, "We're all dead anyways."
What's that mean?
Say more.
What do you mean? I work for
Elaborate.
you
What's the story? Why are we all dead?
because of Zoros. He's lost his heart.
Where's Zoros?
Below.
Right now.
He's gone crazy.
On the first floor?
Crazy. No, in the chambers, in the Iconoclast chambers. I haven't been myself. Do you want me to take you?
Please. Though, in like 5 more minutes. Catch your breath.
Where do they keep the information about Wake Peter Flu?
Wake Peter Flu?
Prism Flu.
I don't know.
It has to do with crimson chrysanthemums.
Make an insight check.
He's got his memory taken, doesn't he?
Or there's just nothing in here in the first place.
Yeah, or he's just the dumbest.
Someone just come in and
But he's got some book smarts at least. 29.
He shakes his head and he says, "We're just guarding here. We don't work in the experimental chambers. I can bring you to them. You can look yourself. But you must be careful. You're not from here. I don't recognize any of you.
You're going to be our guide for a bit.
He's gonna take us
Okay.
down.
But you said to wait."
Yes, wait. Don't listen to him. He's too impatient.
You can listen to him.
You're very impatient. Kind of goes, you feel like he begins to kind of stand behind Cheshire now. You all complete a long rest?
I will summon Rez.
Short
short?
rest, sorry,
Okay.
short rest. You resummon Rez. He pops back into place.
Oh, great work, buddy. You got him.
No, I didn't.
No, sorry. You did help, though.
We have someone
We're
who's
back.
going to
So what's
help
your name?
us.
The entire party just out of the ring as the minutes go by. They're kind of startled, but they look to you and their hands kind of go up and they say, are they okay?
Yeah, they're my friends. Them you can listen to. Just him, maybe grain of salt. Just grain of salt.
So this individual, formerly your enemy, you watch as they kind of stand out, transposing themselves between Cheshire and Ori protectively. They turn, and somebody had asked something.
He's gonna be our guide. What's your name?
Carl Host.
Carl House?
Carl Host.
Our house.
Carl House.
Carly,
Okay,
we're
I'll
gonna
try it out.
ask your help
Do you
getting down
remember
there.
this guy at
And
all?
then once you've done that, you don't have to come with us the rest of the way. You can come back up and wait.
All right.
Do I remember this guy at all?
You do not.
Carly. Carhouse. Carhouse.
I Carl House.
Why is the Aussenloch in league with fiends? With ice devils?
They're not in league with fiends. They're using them. Or at least they were.
Towards what end?
I don't know.
Zoros is here.
You should ask him. But you need to be careful. They're different now. They're changed. The rest of the Iconoclast hasn't come out of their chambers in a long time.
How long?
Weeks.
What can you tell us about these books?
They turn and they point at the red one, the one that has these flexing arms, and they just say, "This is a manual of physical fitness. It makes you a bit stronger, apparently. It's being reserved for one of the archivists from Derby. And this one," and they point to the one that is across from it, and you look at this sort of tattered volume that is bound in ancient fibrous cloth. They say, "You need to be very careful around this one. This is the Tome of Gilded Tongues. It's not finished yet. It will take more tongues to create more pages over time. It will offer to complete works for you, you see, but those works are part of something much grander. We're still not entirely sure about it, but the last person that it attached to was driven mad over the course of about 2 weeks, so I wouldn't touch it. That one over there," and they point back to the middle area, to a space where you can see the book that is in pale vellum. There's no visible writing on the cover. They point at that and they say, "That is Vermis Somniorum, the Worm Book of Dreaming. Don't sleep around this. Even being unconscious for a bit gave me nightmares around it. It can change you as you sleep. But it gives you some powers as well, I'm told. And then this one, and they point at the one across from it, this is the one that you had sensed some undead elements to. And he says, and whispers, "This is the Therendex of Hollow Kings. All of them are within it. And reading the pages has a small chance at drawing one out. Nobody who has drawn one out has ever been seen again. Do not touch it. Do not look at it. And certainly, do not attune to it."
So, Valis, my lovely friend, will you kindly escort our friend Carly down and he can help show us the way?
There's 2 more books.
Nope, let's go.
As you're like kind of guiding him away, they point back and they say, "The other 2, and like kind of guide them away from him.
I don't want to take that muscle book.
Memories.
Is that a bad idea?
That's a terrible idea.
They
terrible
turn
idea,
and they say,
please don't.
"I
Okay.
don't know, maybe in the experimental chambers."
I think we need to go to the experimental
Valis,
chambers.
escort. Go.
I'm terribly sorry, my lady, but are you all permitted to be here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. You won't have any problems. Follow me then. And they begin to walk down the stairs.
As we walk down the stairs, can you tell us what the 1st to 5th floor of the Are there any floors below the 1st?
They look at you and they shake their head. And they say, "No.
Can you tell us what the 1st to 5th floors house?
I've never been to the 1st or the 2nd. The 2nd floors house the Iconoclast's chambers. The 3rd is a lock of sorts to the Iconoclast chambers. I'm not sure how to open them. But perhaps you will. And the 4th floor is the experimental chambers. It's more of a corkscrew than a floor, really. It's a ramp that winds its way down. There are 4 of these experiments currently happening. I'm not privy to what they are. My colleague. Oh. They look over at like the body that's been dragged off.
No,
into
it's
the
in
corner.
the ring.
Oh, it's in the ring, right. They look at the space. That is just a chalk outline of the body.
Oh no. With baddies.
They had been inside one of the chambers, but I was not permitted yet.
And what's on the 5th floor?
The 5th floor is just downstairs. It's why I asked if you were permitted to be here. It's the Aussenloch. It will be a simple matter of making the connection to open the door to go down further.
And if we didn't know how would we go about that?
Oh, you'd walk across the floor and bring...
Carly, remember? Grain of salt. Listen.
Just asking a question.
It's a complicated matter.
Could you explain it like someone who may have never heard of anything about
I'll show you. It'll be easier. Good. That's great. Come along. They walk down the stairs. You all following?
Yep.
Okay. You make your way down. You see what Ori once saw. Down the set of stairs, there is a huge stone aperture. This stone aperture, about 20 feet wide. You see this green gem in the middle. It's closed again since you had begun this fight. And as you pass the element of silence, clearing the ceiling and able to visually behold this room much better, you can see it is a long space, and off to the left and the right from the staircase, down from the landing that is maybe 15 feet down from this floor, you can see they have used elements of the first part of this room for storage. There's like crates and boxes. You can see tables with chests on them. You can see places where once maybe weapons were stored, but over the years some have rusted, some have been taken away. And then further into the room, there are these sort of pillars that have arcane glyphs and sigils that kind of dance around them slowly, not currently lit. And then in the very, very back of the room, you see a huge green crystal flanked by 2 smaller ones, and it glows with a arcane light. And directly in front of that, you see a massive mechanical being, standing about 18 feet tall. And as you're walking and you clear the curtain of silence, you can hear your guide say, "Did you all welcome here, because otherwise this thing would tear you in half. And just kind of walks out and begins to walk straight down towards this creature.
How does this creature know if we're supposed to be here or not?
They turn, they point, and they say, well, if you weren't supposed to be here, it would activate. And at that moment, you can see the eyes just blare to life. And
Why
you can
aren't you
see
supposed to be
these
here?
little elements kind of poof, 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 pop up. There are smaller mechanical beings at their feet. What a visual perspective.
I guess so.
You guys want to clear your mini?
I fucking guess so.
So glad that we short rested.
Oh yeah.
We don't often get a chance to use that 10-minute short rest thing just because narratively
Is this on anything?
Ori doesn't love it, so it's usually hard to kind of convince the group. But it is handy in a pinch.
That's a super handy. It has actually made a huge difference for all of you.
Yeah, it really has.
Olive claims that it's overpowered, but I don't think it is.
Who?
Olive thinks that it's overpowered.
It can be, depending on how often you use it.
Well, we don't
you can
really
only
use
do
that
it
often.
once a day.
Oh,
We don't use it very often
never
as a party due to reasons.
It can only affect one person, like once a day.
Catnap, the spell.
Catnap, it's better than
Oh.
catnap, but you can only do it once a day.
So you are all approaching down this staircase right here. This is the stone aperture that will open.
This is there's
Oh no.
Sorry, it's a big map.
Oh no.
It's okay.
It's okay. No, I'm sprawling a little more than usual today.
Same.
It's discovering
I'm
layouts.
hand spreading.
Yeah, the creature can only be a hand now.
And so you can see
Camdo.
way out, all the way across this space. Whoop,
Sorry, I cowered.
all the way across this space. This
Is there something
towering arcane being.
Hold on. A bunch of stuff.
Oh,
Minis.
So
we're
we're
over
over
here.
here, guys.
you can see as this individual steps out and is now right in front of that kind of big circle, about to cross over on top of it. They were about to turn, and they said, well, it would activate the lights in that being's eyes all the way across this long space with light. And these little mechanical beings pop up all around you. Two of them sort of orb squares, and then this triangle of metal pop up, little arms and legs snake out, each of them kind of winged and holding these small items. This creature turns, and Ori says, why are you not supposed to be here? And they turn and look at you. Ori, make a deception check.
That's pretty good though.
That is pretty good.
Ori's thinking on his feet.
That's also pretty
Ori
good.
was thinking on his feet.
18.
He turns to you and he goes, I don't know. Just give me a second. I'll deal with it. Oh, great and powerful Black Iron Warden. And they go forward. They just cross this space. They go right next to that mechanical being. They step over the aperture, kind of crossing the stones.
I'm
They
gonna
go over
ready
to
an
this-
action to, if it looks like this guy is about to get fucking reamed to death by these things, I'm gonna try to help him not get reamed to death by
I'm
these
gonna
things.
let him
with
go.
How
the
you-
shot.
Sure. So in this moment, you kind of ready your action. This creature goes over. Oh, powerful Black Iron Warden. They throw their hands up in the air. You can see these mechanical beings on the sides kind of point these spears and these swords towards this individual, but they don't attack yet. Is anybody else doing anything aside from readying this action?
I cast Bless.
Okay, on.
I cast it at 3rd level, and
Carl Houst.
I think it's 3 plus 1 per spell level, so 5. So I will say,
Let's get him to Carl House this for us.
Don't pick Cheshire.
oh, okay, I'll just not pick Cheshire.
Okay, you don't pick Cheshire. Everybody else, you are blessed.
As
was
he
gonna go
starts
for
to
it.
walk away from us, I will touch his
benefit
shoulder and
from
cast
it.
guidance.
Okay, guidance. You suffuse him with elements of your druidic magic. Yes.
Billy readies mirror image in case like the thing activates.
Okay, you mark off that spell slot. You ready that ability. As all of you get ready and this individual crosses, they say, oh, great and powerful Black Iron Warden. And in this moment, you see this powerful black iron warden, the arm just moves up and points. And there is a point directly in front of the staircase that just spreads 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet wide.
Uh-oh. Is he within that range?
Actually, where is he? I just kind of put him here. So where did he go up to?
Yeah, he's right. He's actually on the other side of the. Yeah, right there. He didn't.
Is this the aperture?
Yeah, he
Okay.
didn't even make it onto the aperture. He's about to kind of walk over there, and this creature points. And because it is 9:50,
I'm a shooter.
before this layer action goes off, this is where we're going to end for the evening. But as you face down the Aussenloch's Black Iron Warden, this is where we're ending for the night. We will be back next week, right here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you can't wait that long, you should subscribe to us on Patreon. We have all kinds of cool content there, and maybe you'll even see some pictures when we play Humblewood tomorrow at noon. It is recorded. It will be up on Twitch sometime in the future. But please, whatever you do, stay safe. It is wild out there. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.